walk through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the void.
Alright guys, and welcome back to
Beyond the Void Horror Podcast.
Warble's got some gusto with the podcast. He's Batman.
I'm Batman.
Guys, it's Thursday. Patrick and Warble and I are back for a brand new episode for Thursday. Today, we're going to be talking about The Evil Dead, the original one with Bruce Campbell that started it all. And we're also going to be talking about the Fede Alvarez reboot from 2013. And we're going to compare the two at the very end, so you're going to want to stick around and see which one we prefer the most. But I think as you listen, you'll probably figure out why we like one over the other. But we'll kind of give our reasons as to why we prefer one over the other. And you may be surprised. We've got one person who is a big fan of horror movies, another person who's a big fan of horror movies, and Warble, who is kind of new to horror movies in a way.
Don't give a fuck about horror movies.
He never actually got to see the original Evil Dead. So
This is the first time he's ever watched
yeah, so we're going to get a whole new perspective from somebody who has never liked any horror movies, so I think we're going to cover a wide spectrum of opinions, in my opinion. Opinion.
Doctor.
Opinion.
Doctor?
Opinion.
Doctor. Doctor?
But I hope the whole week has been great for you guys. As you already may know, we will not be back this next week, so we hope that you guys have an amazing fucking Halloween.
Right, and just maintain that erection till we come back.
Yeah, come back and come.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're saying.
Have a good selection.
We're talking about full-fledged hard-ons.
Yeah.
Hard-ons that you can bend steel with.
So we may actually have a episode. I don't know. We'll see. I just want to see how it goes. I honestly need a fucking break.
Yeah.
Because I just go and go and go and go.
You really
and go.
do.
I'm doing streaming. I'm doing fucking editing. I'm doing
all
the
our
podcast.
friends on Xbox Live are like, "Where's Alex? Where's Alex?"
Yeah, well, that's because I'm fucking doing all
He's
this
knee
shit.
deep in the shit.
Yeah.
Doing it right.
I do this for you guys.
Will you have a selection?
What? What do you mean a selection?
A selection of erections.
It's a Warble's drunk.
It's an inside joke.
I have no idea what that is.
It's the erection that you select.
We're drinking a little bit of Evan Williams with Pepsi, Crystal Pepsi.
Ooh.
Which is interesting.
A little bit. Flashback to the 90s there.
But guys, let's go ahead and jump into our flesh and potatoes right now. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with The Evil Dead v. Evil Dead right now. Alright guys, we're back, and if you wondered which is the better Evil Dead, The Evil Dead or Evil Dead, you're going to want to listen closely, because this is definitive. No matter what your opinions are, this is the answer.
Yeah, this is the end-all, be-all.
Yeah, we are gods. No, I'm just kidding.
So, everybody just get on your knees.
Just kidding. Everybody has an opinion about the new one and the original one.
Just like an asshole. Everybody got one.
Well, everyone has an opinion, so obviously we're going to go in chronological order, so we're going to kick it off with the original Evil Dead. Ready to go. The Evil Dead. First off, we got The Evil Dead. It came out in 1981.
That's the year I was born.
Was it?
Where are you born in 81?
I was born in 81.
Oh, 83.
Oh, he's such a baby.
I'm a baby. A little baby.
So, The Evil Dead came out in 1981. The story is 5 friends travel to a cabin in the woods where they unknowingly release flesh-possessing demons. Wah, 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 wah. So, that's the official storyline.
Prologue, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. It was directed by and written, by the way, by Sam Raimi, who also did the movie Darkman, Quick and the Dead, Drag Me to Hell, Spider-Man 1 through 3 with Tobey Maguire.
And don't forget about, what was it called? The prequel to Evil Dead, the Within the Woods.
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't really consider that.
It was the birth of Evil Dead.
That was his first directorial debut.
Right, that was the film that he made that shop around.
And we'll get into it. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
You two got far too much free time. You should do something important with your life and fucking cure cancer and shit. But no, we're going to find out what movies people did. Yeah, it's important.
It was
Wasted.
produced by Rob Tappert, who also produced Crime Wave, Evil Dead 2, Lunatics, A Love Story, Hard Target, and many, many more. He even did the new Evil Dead, the remake.
Is that a Van Damme film? Hard Target?
Yes,
Is that Van Damme?
that's the one.
Epic.
It's a good movie, actually.
Yeah.
I love it.
The music was done by Joe LaDuca, which he did a pretty phenomenal job.
Yeah, very atmospheric.
The makeup effects, the practical effects in the first Evil Dead were done by Tom Sullivan, who is quite amazing for what he did in 1981.
With such a little budget at that.
Right. How much was the movie? You told me this earlier. How much was the movie made on?
90,000.
Right. And you know they were trying to get to about 150,000,
Right.
but if they didn't hit 90,000, they weren't going to be. They would have to refund everybody that invested in the movie.
Really?
That was the clause that they had.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So the Evil Dead that was made in 1981 was kind of like a sequel / remake of their Within the Woods movie.
Within the Woods, yeah.
Which is, by some people, they call it Evil Dead 0. You can find it, if you really want to find it, somewhere online. I won't say how.
Right.
But it really, The Evil Within was technically a movie that was done by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and Rob Tappert as a way to kind of do a pilot for a show. You know, when you watch a TV show, they always have a pilot, and they're like, well, this is
Just
the
to
concept.
give you the basis of
Right.
What, right. This is the sandbox you're going to be playing in.
Right. This is what we can do. These are the chops that we got. This is what we're trying to do with it. So they learn from The Evil Within as a college sort of
Within
thing.
the Woods.
Within the Woods to make this movie. So now Warble has never seen this movie until...
Which this movie was also originally titled The Book of the Dead.
Yes. Well, we'll get into that more.
Right.
But Warble has never seen this movie. This is his first time actually ever traipsing through the original Evil Dead. So I want to know what you think about this movie without spoiling the other movie or comparing the other movie.
Well, obviously, it aged okay, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, the Muppets and horror, like, blended together. That's what happened.
You think it's like a comedy sort of thing is what you're saying?
It seemed a bit comedy to
Okay.
me. It was fun, though.
Yeah?
Enjoyed it, yeah.
Well, why did you like it? Like, what do you think about
There
it?
wasn't much horror going on.
You don't
for me.
think?
No, I was never horrified by it.
Well, and you also have to remember it's the 80s. So, you know, like, while they did try to take things serious...
Not only the 80s, but the very beginnings of the 80s. It was 81.
Right. And I mean, technically, this is a story that was an idea that was, like, in the 79 area.
Right, where they flushed it out.
Yeah. So, what do you think about it? Like, what were your first impressions about this movie in particular? Not comparing it.
It was different. That's all I've got.
It was different.
It was different.
Did you like that it was gory? Did you like that it was...
Was it gory?
Absolutely.
The first
Yeah, I
one.
think
We're
it
talking
was
the first
pretty
one.
gory.
It's pretty sadistic if you think about it.
Yeah.
The first one wasn't gory, in my opinion.
It wasn't realistic gory, but it was gory.
Yeah.
There was just funny things going off in the background.
Did you find it original? Like, can you compare that movie to anything else?
No, it did seem like, pretty much
It
original.
was all on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to lead you. I'm just
No,
curious.
there-
I want to
there-
know.
There was bits in it I did like, but it was more because it was funny. Like they would like almost trying a bit too hard.
You think?
A little bit like that.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
just a bit try hard. Like, oh, you should be scary right now. And it's like, no, it's not. It's because you just overdid it. It's just too much.
But you're not a big horror fan, so...
No, I'm really not.
But in the same respect, you watched a 1981 film, which is a huge horror classic for the first time in 2017, and you actually enjoyed it.
It was good fun. It was good fun to watch.
Okay. What about you, Patrick? Like, I
Well,
know you've seen it before, obviously.
I've seen it many, many, many times.
It was quirky.
Yes. But
Does it still hold up?
I think it still holds up. I really enjoy how atmospheric it was. The music, very atmospheric film. I can't compare it to anything else. And I think that's why I kind of like it, because it was something different than everybody else was doing, like slashers or fucking, straight up possessions like The Exorcist or something like that. I think I saw it how old was I? I think I was like 15 when I first saw it.
Yeah.
So it was something very different that I've never seen before. I mean, of course, I've seen slashers in the woods, but this took it in a whole different direction.
Yeah. It's weird because there's, not all society lives in the woods. They don't know what, going out to a cabin in the middle of the woods is like.
Right. Which recently we just did.
Not a cabin, right?
No, it was a cabin.
Was there anything around it?
A creek?
So there was no other cabins near it?
No.
Really? Interesting.
Well, I actually have a picture of it. I'll give it to you if you want to post it up on the you want to put a link to it or whatever. But yeah, it almost looks exactly like the Evil Dead cabin.
Okay.
But it's literally one room and a kitchen.
So it had a swing on the porch?
No swing.
Okay.
But it was all made like, the porch. The porch was actually made from branches from trees and shit.
Okay.
It looked very Evil Dead-ish.
Okay. What about you, Warble? Did you feel uncomfortable there? Did you ever go out in the middle of the woods by yourself?
Oh, camping.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a story behind that. Because, it got pretty cold. And earlier than that, I thought it was pretty warm during the day.
Okay.
In Arizona, wasn't it? It's pretty warm. So I think,
pretty
I'm
much.
going to get in the tent. I'm going to strip off. So I stripped down to pretty much nothing. Jump in my little sleeping bag. Think, I'm good now. I'm pretty good now. So I get in there in the sleeping bag. And wake up an hour later, freezing my fucking tits off.
Yeah, it
My
gets
God,
cold
I was
here, man.
I was dying.
Common misconception.
The worst thing was I was dying for a piss. So I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, what time is it? Have I got enough time?
Didn't I warn you about that? I told you should have pissed before you went to bed.
It was fucking 2:30 in the morning. I'm thinking, I'm not going to make it till like 8, 9 o'clock, am I? So
You have to piss.
So I get out of the tent, freezing my fucking tits off with my little fucking light on my phone lighting the way. Yeah, there we go. Taking a piss in the woods. Looking around, a little bit drunk by now. Looking around, there's like stuff and sounds going off and little rustles here and there. But yeah, pissed in the stream, then went back in the tent. It's all good.
Did it make you uneasy just to go pee a little bit?
Well, not really.
We're not going to take your man card away or anything, dude.
No, I didn't take the gun with me. So that shows you how much hardcore I was. I could have taken the pistol with me and gone to take a piss, but I didn't. So I didn't feel like I needed to take the gun with me.
But when you were out there by yourself,
I was like, what the fuck's that?
did your brain start to wander?
I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? There's
See,
there's a little blue thing next
and
to
that's
me.
what's interesting about this movie in a way, because even though that perhaps maybe you've never been in a cabin experience in the middle of nowhere, but it's like it's so far out in the middle of nowhere, you kind of wonder like what could happen. So you're like, mind starts playing a little bit of tricks on you.
Well, another thing about this cabin is it's in a valley, and even just taking the trail to get down to the cabin, once you're like actually in the camp area, but getting down to the cabin still like another hour.
You're secluded. I mean,
Did you go over a bridge?
There was a bridge.
Well, we had many on the way there. We drove
Yeah.
over many bridges on the way there.
Yeah.
You are
So-
secluded. There's no reception. You can't get there's no signal on your phone. You're nothing. You're completely cut off from the outside
When you
world.
tried to go back, was the bridge closed off? I'm
No,
just saying.
It was very much open.
Okay. Well, my thoughts on this movie in particular is I feel like this is probably one of the all-time classic horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the woods period. It inspired so many different people who are directors to this day. It inspired people who, this is a movie that everybody looks to and goes, wow, this is really original.
Oh, for sure. Like, even, like, I'm sorry to be,
No, you're good.
but even, like, his sound clips that he made of the evil
Sure.
are used in new horror movies to this day.
Yeah,
Like,
because
the
people
wind
want to
sound-
pay homage a little
Right.
bit.
What's he used? There was some like quite recognizable sounds I've heard.
Yeah,
Things
like
that,
the
little
wind
ticky,
sound that they
ticky,
use
ticky,
and shit.
ticky, ticky noise going on.
At the time, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a micro budget, but it was a smaller budget.
Yeah.
$90,000 is not a lot.
And they had to put some footwork in to get this out.
One of the things I really loved about this movie is Sam Raimi's camera work and the sound design that made this film pretty much a pioneer
Oh, yeah.
in the horror genre.
Well, they were the first one to come up with a Steadicam the way they did.
Well, he made the camera kind of be like a character.
Yeah, like an entity all on its own,
Right. And, you know, some, like, nowadays, like, I have a couple of friends that make movies or shorts or whatever, and a lot of the problem that they come across is everybody's trying to, like, do their part, you know? Like, they want to show and they want to shine so that they can get jobs in the future. But sometimes a director has these ideas that they want to get out, and some people think, oh, well, these are too much. This is too much of a big idea. Nobody withheld. They were like, this is your vision. You've written it. You know, like, everything was lined out. They had legal paperwork for everything, and he just fucking did some of these crazy camera work things that have never been done in any other film, that's why I consider it to be a pioneering film for, you know, a movie, period.
Right.
Just in general, a lot of the stuff that they did, they made it a character, the evil that was lurking and looming outside.
Almost like, I wouldn't say like breaking the third wall, but almost like that, where it actually made you feel like you're looking through the evil's eyes.
It made it feel like there was more to the story than just the story.
Right.
Like there was another layer.
I was just watching the fucking Muppets. What were you watching?
To me, though, man, I really love it. I think that the music score, I think the sound engineering for this movie was, like, spot on. Like, I feel, for its time especially, because if you look at other movies compared to this time, like, they really create an atmosphere with the camera work, the music. It all works kind of together in the same way. And Bruce Campbell, obviously, stars in this movie.
That's Ash.
Yes. Ashley. Yes.
Yeah,
Ashley,
and
sorry.
he's one of the...
Well, they call him Ash, but his name's Ashley.
Yeah, he's one of the biggest, you know, horror heroes.
Icons, yeah.
Horror icons that you can think of. Not necessarily because of his, like, spot-on acting. Like, he even considers it to be overacting.
Right.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But in the same respect, like, because he overacts, he creates his own style. And I don't think that style really came to fruition until part 2.
Yeah.
As a character. Like, the character really came to fruition to me in part 2. But this is what gave him his start. This is what made him probably get typecasted a lot.
Right.
Also, so it kind of worked against him in a lot of ways. I mean, he's made 2 sequels, a prequel, and a TV show with 3 seasons already because of it.
Well, don't forget about his part in Xena.
Well, no, but I'm
Hercules.
just saying as far as Evil Dead goes.
Right.
So
right.
it is a beloved franchise. And when you think of franchises, I don't know why I don't really consider the Evil Dead franchise a franchise.
When it really is.
Yeah, because, I mean, just because Halloween has 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever movies, and Jason does too, doesn't mean that this isn't a franchise. This is a franchise.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they have a TV show, for Christ's sake. And Jason had a TV show, but it wasn't even about Jason.
Well, so did Freddy Cougar.
Right. I see what you mean. But yeah, but it was Freddy's Nightmares.
Right. Well, it was like a Twilight Zone, but for horror.
I'll stick to the script, come on.
All right, I'm sorry.
Deviate.
One thing I will say about this movie is I don't think that there's one strong point in the whole movie. I think it all just kind of worked together simultaneously.
All builds, yeah, it just builds.
Well,
and
it's
builds
not
and
even
builds.
about the build. I just feel like, you know, there's acting, which was whatever. There's the camera work, which is really great. But I feel like if it wasn't for the semi-bad acting and the semi-whatever, it all pretty much propped itself up. Like, every piece of it kind of made it a big deal. The gore was really good. The acting was decent. The story was unique. The ideas in the story were really unique. The camera work, the sounds, it pretty much just all worked together. So you kind of have, even if you don't like this one as your favorite one out of the franchise, you still kind of have to appreciate it because what it did at the time was so different than everything else. Plus, it also promotes drunk driving, domestic abuse. So that's pretty cool.
Oh man,
That was a favorite.
can we get
of mine,
away
that
with
bit.
this?
That was a favorite of mine, that bit. It was.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Because, like,
Yeah.
right in the beginning of the movie,
No, there's a bit halfway through that I thought was amazing.
what? Go ahead,
With
tell me.
domestic abuse, where she's in the doorway, she's all laughing, and he just starts beating her.
Oh,
I thought, all right, here we go. Yeah.
I was thinking
She
about...
was just laughing. Or she was just there laughing. I mean, it was all sat there. She was sat there laughing.
Well, do you remember when they were sitting by the fire in the beginning of the movie, when the first night that they show up, and she says something to Scott, the blonde-haired guy, and he's like, you better shut your mouth or I'll hit you.
Oh, dude, even the other part where she's like an animal. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and then he said, "I'll fucking hit you."
Oh, did he
or
say it
something.
right after that?
It was like, I was around that. I don't remember what she said.
Right.
But I remember that. Plus, when they're in the car, when they're driving in the very beginning of the movie, and the chick's singing the song, you see him holding a jar, a mason jar.
Of moonshine. Yeah.
Which I'm sure was just water.
Right.
But it was like, hey, drinking and driving is kind of cool. Let's careen into a fucking family. Just kidding. But yeah, no, I mean, seriously though, I mean, I just thought it was a different time, so I was like trying to point that out. But anything else you guys want to add to that?
No.
I mean, were you surprised that you liked this, Warble?
I'd seen a little snippet of it before. It was the tree bit. I'd seen the tree bit.
Oh, yeah.
The tree bit. I'm sure we'll get to that.
We
get
definitely
to
will.
the tree bit. So that was always fun. But I've not seen the whole thing. Yeah. The tree was not a gentleman on that occasion. I can assure you that.
He did. He did do a gentleman. It was inch by inch, just like a gentleman.
Oh,
the tree.
The tree.
Bad,
it's bad.
It
A little bit bad.
It wasn't inch
but
by
if
inch.
we don't traipse into the bad, then what are we doing
We
here?
could harpoon the fucker.
Yeah.
There's no fucking gentleman conduct going on there.
But like what I was trying to say before he trailed off, but this is the first movie that I watched with my wife.
Really?
Yeah, I asked her the first time she came over to my house, I was like, have you seen Evil Dead? She said no, and I was like, well...
Well, you're not going to be my girlfriend until you do.
Right, and that's the first thing we did. The first night we ever hung out together.
Did you actually watch it, or did you just start banging?
No, I was a gentleman. We actually, we didn't bang for a while.
So he made her a sandwich.
It's funny because she actually mentioned this to me, was it earlier or yesterday?
It was a couple days ago.
She wasn't actually that impressed that she'd actually made her watch it.
Really?
She wasn't impressed at all.
No.
She didn't like it?
No. You must have been really good at something else.
I could tell you, but
Don't do that.
I'm a gentleman.
All right, come on now.
I'm a gentleman.
So she didn't like the movie, though?
No, she liked the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, she thought it was, like we said, she definitely thought it was unique. She never saw anything like that before, but, she could have just been placating to me.
Right. Yeah. She was like, I got to tell him I like it, so stick around.
Yeah. But it was the first movie, and after that, she stuck around. So I was like, all right, she obviously knows my extent of weirdness. Maybe not the full extent, but
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a pretty mainstream.
Right, just a little bit of a taste of what I was into.
Which is interesting to me because, like, in a lot of ways, Evil Dead is a mainstream movie.
Right.
To most people. Like, they kind of consider it like a classic, but the stuff that happens in the movie is actually not very mainstream at all.
No.
But it is considered a classic, and so people kind of like go, oh, well, that's what horror movies are supposed to be like. But they do some pretty fucked up, sadistic shit in it.
Yeah, when they set out to make this movie, they were trying to make it better than everybody at that time.
Right.
Going farther and pushing the line.
Yeah, no, I agree. Probably I lean a little bit more towards Evil Dead 2, just because it's a little bit more polished, I think.
Yeah, but the thing I like about Evil Dead 1 is, like I was saying before, it's like...
more serious.
Well, not only that, the atmosphere they add to this film.
Right.
Just made it that much more creepier to me.
It wasn't... Yeah, it took itself a little bit more serious than any of the other franchises.
For sure.
It got progressively silly.
Yeah.
As it goes on.
When it gets to Army of Darkness, it's like, this threw the horror out the window.
Right. Well, and a lot of people I know actually prefer Army of Darkness.
Which is weird because I'm like, do you like horror?
That's not fair.
It is.
It depends when you grew up. Nostalgia's a motherfucker, dude.
It is, but when you look at Army of Darkness, there's really not a lot of serious horror tones in that movie.
I remember when I saw the first Evil Dead, it scared the piss out of me. And when I watched part 2, I felt a little more comfortable with it.
Well, I saw Evil Dead 2 even before I saw Evil Dead 1.
Really? Oh,
so when I saw Evil Dead 1, I was like, holy shit. Like, this is fucking cool. I mean, I didn't say, not that I didn't think about, that way about Evil Dead 2, but there were, like I said, it was something about the atmosphere that they added to that movie that just seemed a little bit more sinister.
Okay.
A little bit more,
I agree. I mean, that is one of the, stronger points of the original. Like you had mentioned before, the original movie was called The Book of the Dead, which was the original title, because apparently Sam Raimi was studying ancient history.
Right.
And he was talking about the Book of the Dead.
Right.
Or he was reading about it. And for whatever reason, that name stuck with him. So the original title was going to be called The Book of the Dead. But they also had another name for it because the producers wanted to change it. So they were going to call it House of the Dead, believe it or not.
Which it wasn't a house.
But that's what they wanted to call it because they
Right.
thought, like this may sell it better. I don't know. But it was distributed internationally first before it actually had domestic distribution.
Well, it came out in the UK first, right?
It just came out internationally, period. They were trying to, I think it was at the time, it was either New Line or Dimension this is when they were underground, just before they were big.
Right.
They had said, maybe you should push it out internationally and maybe we'll get some domestic distribution because of it. So they did that. They distributed it out internationally. And if it wasn't for the international distribution, this movie wouldn't have existed.
That New Line did that?
I think they talked about Dimension and New Line, so I got a little confused as to which one was the one that helped them.
The original Frontier, yeah.
Right, but both of them were pretty small at that time. They weren't major. New Line was nowhere near what it is
New
today.
Line's big these days.
Yeah, this is before Halloween or...
Technically, New Line owns the Evil Dead franchise. At the time, I guess, they bought it, and then Bruce Campbell, Rob Tappert, and Sam Raimi owned the video distribution as well as the theatrical distribution of the movie. So, interesting, right?
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know who's bought it, traded it over, but they still get royalties for this shit. They said that if it wasn't for the fucking international fucking royalties, that they would have never gotten paid because apparently they had a lot of problems with the domestic money.
Right.
They weren't able to get paid at all. So they got most of the money from that, and I think it was like 5 or 10 years after the movie released that they actually started to begin to make money on it. And now it's actually well over that now because of the international. But they credit the money that they made for that by international. When the movie released, I don't know if you guys know this, but there was an old lady that approached them, and they actually at the theater when they showed it, and they were like, and this old, like really old little lady wanted to speak to the people that made the film. So they had Bruce, Rob Tappert, and Sam Raimi all come up, and they were like, hey guys, this old lady wants to talk to you about the movie. They thought that they were going to get chewed out by this old lady. And it turned out that the lady was like, I really enjoyed your picture. I thought it was a lot of fun. I haven't had that much fun in a long time. And she was like really old.
Does she sound like a New Yorker?
I don't know. I'm just making an accent, but they said that they were a little surprised because they thought that she was going to fucking lay into them.
Are we into factoids now?
Yeah, we're definitely into factoids.
So, now that you mentioned old ladies and shit,
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else out there knows, but this is something that I didn't know until I started doing a little bit of research on this movie.
Okay.
But there is an actual horror story that goes behind the cabin.
Oh, go. Please do tell.
So, this cabin was made about, from right now, maybe like 140 years, maybe plus, ago.
What?
Yeah.
It was that old.
It's
I
that
heard
old.
it was a barn, sort of.
This is straight from Sam Raimi's mouth.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi's mouth.
Okay.
So, 140 plus years ago, maybe less, this cabin was constructed. A week after this guy had built this cabin, died. Now, years later, a family moved in, and the family consisted of like a mom, a daughter, and a grandmother. Now, what's interesting about where this cabin was constructed, that the mountains surrounded the valley, that this cabin was built in. The mountains consisted of a high amount of iron ore.
Okay.
So it conducted a lot of electricity. So when lightnings hit, it hit pretty much around that area. There's plenty of lightning strikes happening.
Okay.
So one night during a storm when this family lived there, this little girl got scared and ran into her mother's room. And when she ran into her mother's room and pulled back the covers to get in bed with her, she had found that her mother was dead.
Huh.
So then she runs into her grandma's room to find out she was dead as well. And after that, she freaked out and ran out into the woods and was found by a farmer who lived down a little bit ways from the cabin. And they ended up raising this little girl.
Really?
Yeah. And then later on, I guess this girl was prone to, like, when there was lightning strikes, she would wander out into the woods and return to the cabin. So later on, when Sam Raimi and Robert Tappert and Bruce Campbell were out there filming, they had ran into the farmer's son at this time. And she was looking for this little girl she's not a little girl anymore. She's an old woman at this point. And she was looking for her. And she was telling the story about what happened to her when she was a kid, and that she had prone to wander the woods and come back to the cabin when there was lightning storms and wonder if they had seen her. And not anybody from the cast had seen her, and they didn't think anything about it. They never found her. A week later, after they were done filming and everything, they got a phone call from the Tennessee Filming Commission or whatever out there,
right,
notifying them that the cabin had been struck by a bolt of lightning and burnt to the ground.
This was after the movie was
This
made.
is a week after the movie was done filming and wrapped.
Okay.
And I just thought that was weird.
And where did you hear this by?
I heard it actually on a interview with Sam Raimi for one of the features, the special features. For a movie.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never heard that.
It's super weird. Yeah, I thought it was weird that they never.
Well,
found
if you heard
that
it
lady.
from his mouth, then I 100% believe it. But
Right. It's super weird, right?
that is weird. I don't know. I like that. The idea that Evil Dead is based off of is called Within the Woods, which we've talked about, which was called by a written reviewer who wrote this in a post. He said it was scarier than The Prophecy and Amityville combined, The Evil Within the Woods.
Oh, really?
Okay, now they made this specific Within the Woods movie, Evil Dead Zero, technically, as, like I said, a way to try to sell that they had the chops to be able to make a movie called Evil Dead. The Book of the Dead, technically, at the time, which they conceived in college. But they didn't do the movie Evil Dead until they were out of college, and they had a lot of know-how. In fact,
Right.
Bruce Campbell talks about that they had a lawyer who, Rob Tappert, Rob Tappert used to make movies or shorts or whatever.
They all used to make shorts together, like
Right.
comedies.
Exactly. They used to do all kinds of different shorts, and they used to get into trouble because they didn't do it the legal way. They just did it guerrilla style. So Rob Tappert got actually jailed, which Bruce Campbell forced out of him in the commentary. And he was like, "Oh wow, no inquiring minds,"
Right.
And so, because of this, the guy that represented them as lawyer for him when he got arrested was he was very interested in show business. And so when he told them that they were going to be doing a movie, he was like really interested. So he represented them as a entertainment lawyer to write up all the contracts and everybody that was in the movie, everybody that worked on it. So when they did this movie, there wasn't going to be any legal issues. So this is one of the rare movies in classic horror that actually worked it all out from grassroots so that nobody would get sued over who owns what because they didn't do these contracts.
Right.
Which is usually what happens to a lot of these movies, apparently. But Sam Raimi actually got an investor once, too, for this movie, for Evil Dead, when he was turning in the film for Within the Woods. So he was turning in all these like cans of film to get processed. And this one guy was standing in line to get his photographs developed. And he was like, why do you have all these films? And he was like, well, I'm making a sort of like a fake movie to try to like make a movie.
Right.
And this is like our way of trying to get in there. And he was like, well, let me see it. I'd be interested in maybe being an investor. And that guy actually ended up becoming an investor based off that for Evil Dead. So he's made some money.
Right. And it was kind of commendable the way they did it, because they would like take their film to people's houses and project it on their, kitchen wall or whatever wall they had available.
Right.
To get potential investors.
And it wasn't until about a year later that guy did it, actually. And also another guy was like, well, I was going to go to Vegas this year, but I decided instead of going to Vegas, I'll just take a break from going to Vegas and give you a half a share or a half a stock or whatever they call it.
Right.
Because I think at the time it was like $10,000 for a full and then $5,000 for a half. And he gave him $5,000. I'm sure that guy's made ton of money back.
Tripled his money.
Right, more than that.
Oh yeah.
A lot more than that. He's probably made $1 million off that $5. Like, no joke. I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting, though. Apparently, on the set of this movie, they didn't have a lot of running water, so they were drinking Mellow Yellow a lot. They did not have bathrooms.
What is Mellow Yellow?
Mellow Yellow is like Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Have you ever had Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
It's like that was the Mountain Dew of the time. They call it Mellow Yellow.
Him.
But it was a soda can. They can get it 6-packs of it, and, you know, they were using that.
Sugary goodness.
Right. It's like super caffeinated at the time, but they were drinking that because they didn't actually have running water. They only had hot water for certain things. And even the scalerals, the white eyes that they were making, they didn't even have water to wash those out.
Really?
So people with their dirty ass fucking hands were putting in scalerals into people's eyes. And a funny story about that is that in order for them to use scalerals, they had to go to a fucking eye doctor for each of the people that were going to be wearing them.
Was this not filmed in a studio?
No, this was
This is
guerrilla
filmed
style.
out in the woods.
In the woods. Just,
Yeah.
Right.
Why not use a studio?
Because they didn't have the money.
Technically, they did kind of use a studio.
Some in the studio.
Not really. Not until part 2.
No, they did, because the cabin, this is another factoid I'm going to break into right now just because we're talking about it.
Go ahead.
But the cabin never had a basement. They
went to a friend's basement to shoot that scene.
Well, some of it was shot in Sam Raimi's garage, and the other half was
Sam
Raimi's garage, and the other half was filmed in a studio in
Well, I know
Michigan.
Michigan. Yeah. But I don't know if it was a studio because they were saying that they were bringing all kinds of like hissing cockroaches into the basement of somebody else's basement, and that the people that owned the basement were getting pissed off because they were bringing all this weird shit
I could have misheard
down.
it. Maybe it was just another person's basement.
Yeah,
in
I don't think it
Michigan.
was a studio. This is all like really grassroots guerrilla style fucking crazy shit.
So anytime you're looking at a shot from them looking up from the basement is the cabin. But anything inside the basement was a completely different location in Michigan.
Right, which you would never know.
Right.
Pretty cool. But the scalerals, they have these contact lenses that are bigger than a contact lens, because most of the contact lenses go over the color of your eye.
Big glass back then, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Glass.
They were like...
They'd be uncomfortable as fuck. Them
Oh, yeah.
The people who had to go try them out, because they technically had to bring everybody that was going to be wearing them into the eye doctor, and the eye doctor was like, don't wear these more than... Don't put these in more than 5 times a day. You can only wear them at 15 minutes at a time. Don't wear this, you know. And people were like, he was like, oh, no problem. And they made him wear them more than 5 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
And they were not even washing them out. They were just putting them in people's eyes, and people were like freaking out because it was burning. In fact, the only person that didn't complain the most was Cheryl, Ash's sister. Her name is Helen, I think. She was the only one that actually put them in and like wore it like a champ. Even though they burned the fuck out of her eyes, she was like, just get it fucking done. Let's get it fucking done. But, I mean, if you can imagine how uncleanly that, you know, like, how bad that was.
Right.
Shame then. Didn't like one pair to go between the lot of them.
Yeah, dude, there was a lot of hell during this movie. I mean, like...
A lot more than I think people get in these big even in the mid-size level movies.
Like, I mean, there was tons and upon tons of body doubles in this, which the brunt of it was taken up by Sam Raimi himself.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was in a lot of parts. He was in him and Rob Tapert did the fisherman and the guy on the
side of the road.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny about that? You know, when they're listening to the tape, part of that tape is them saying Rob and Sam are the hitchhikers on the side of the road, but played backwards.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know that. I never heard that part.
And what's another thing about another factoid is that a lot of these body doubles were credited in the credits as fake Shemps.
Yeah.
Fake Shemps. Yeah, because to show his love for the Three Stooges.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking that too. I'm like, are they the Deadites? Because I couldn't really figure that out.
No, they were the body doubles.
Okay.
For everybody who had other projects going on and couldn't be there.
See, this is good. We did our own research. We got like extra stuff here.
Yeah. Except for Warble.
Did you catch the Hills?
What the fuck?
How would he fucking know this shit?
I'm just giving him shit. I love you, Warble.
Did you see the ripped Hills Have Eyes poster in the background in the basement?
I didn't.
Yeah, they have a Hills Have Eyes poster in the background, which I thought was pretty interesting. Just a little nod, I'm sure, to something that they probably liked.
Here's another since we're on the Three Stooges thing, another acknowledgement of Sam Raimi's love for Three Stooges was the basement scene. When you see the pipe covered in cloth that busts open and the light ball filled with blood,
right?
It's based off a Three Stooges episode called "A Plumbing We Will Go."
Oh, okay. Did you know that Rob Tapert, the producer, actually fell from the rafters of this thing?
I didn't.
And he actually fell on a nail. And that nail hung into his jeans and his skin and was ripping as he fell down. Ugh. And I guess apparently Bruce and Sam Raimi like helped him up. but he was like bleeding everywhere because of it at this cabin. And they actually had to stay in this cabin while they were fucking filming towards the end.
Right.
Like the last week or two, because the house that they were staying in, they got kicked out of, and it got turned into a brothel. They didn't even take it seriously. They were like, well, we got the notice. We just didn't think it was seriously because we were paying our rent.
Right.
And then they showed up one day, and they were like, yeah, you got to go. And
Oh,
so they had
man.
to stay in the cabin. And they actually literally slept on the floor of the cabin.
Wow.
And even in the house that they were staying in, so much in fact that after this movie was shot, Bruce Campbell said that he went home for 2 months. He slept on the floor of his bedroom.
Because he was just used to it.
He was so used to it because they put ever their blood, sweat, and tears into this. He even said that he had a full-on beard growing, and his mom was like, Bruce, what are you what the fuck are you doing here, buddy?
But that's just the thing about this movie. It's so fucking hardcore that even like the guns they used were real guns.
Yeah.
The ammunition they shot was real ammunition. The glass that they broke was real planes of glass.
Real shells. They broke real shells.
They shot real shells, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, it's guerrilla fucking movie making. They had to
Right.
do what they could with the money that they had. They didn't have all the fucking safety precautions and shit. Apparently, New Line Cinema was this is the one that they said that they were having the trouble with the money. So it is New Line Cinema that eventually owned the rights, like I said. But I think that they got an idea to sell it internationally from Dimension Films before they were big. So Bruce, in the commentary at the end, he was talking about the car, the Delta,
Right.
and he was saying, because, you know, I don't know if you know this or not, Warble, but Sam Raimi, the director, every movie that he's made, he's put that car in it.
Which is the Delta?
It's the tan car that they ride in.
At the beginning. The one they
Right.
driving in there at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's a Delta. Because I know the Lancia Delta.
It's actually called a Royale or some shit like that. I don't even remember. I looked it up online because I was like, I want one.
Yeah,
no
right.
idea.
It's even in the Quick and the Dead.
Oh, yeah, that's
They
what I'm
s-
saying.
They strip it down to its bare just frame and build a wagon cart on top of it.
Right, that's
Just
what
to be like, it's in that fucking movie.
Bruce even mentions that, and he was making jokes. He was like, I'm going to fucking kill the car. Because he's like, I want to fucking kill it. I don't care what. He's tried to put it in every movie. I think it's ridiculous. And, like, he was just being silly about it. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know that car. No idea.
I would love that car. If
Yeah,
I
that
could
car's
get it,
pretty
if I
badass.
could get that car, I would love it. I'm sure it would ride like a fucking piece of shit.
Dude, those old fucking steel cars, they ride
Dude,
like a flying
somebody
couch.
in my neighborhood had one almost identical to it.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, oh. And they were selling it for like $36,000. And I was like, yeah, nope.
Suck a dick.
I need a rudder to steer that thing probably.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this. What are some of your, like, what is your, one of your, in chronological order of the movie, what are some of your favorite movie or scenes? Like one of them.
Well, I mean, straight out of the gates, you got his fucking chin, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking horrific.
Where he's
that
sitting
thing.
in the back
It's
being all
just
creepy.
Straight on close up with his chin. It's like, what the fuck is that? That's fucking scary. I'm like,
If chins could
"Whoa,
talk."
That's it. It's just a chin. Well, yeah, that set the mood for that film.
Well, his chin and the guy from Maniac Cop are the biggest chins in the industry. Because we did an episode on Maniac Cop, and we were talking because they're both Bruce Campbell and that other guy, I can't think of his name, who's in Maniac Cop, have the biggest chins in the industry.
That's
So
what it is. And after that, it was the scene with the eyeballs when they're just staring at each other. He stares at her. She stares at him. He stares at her.
oh, when he's
She
looking at
stares
the
him, and it just seems to go on forever.
Are you talking about where he acts like he's asleep on the
yes.
couch?
He's got the little box with that little necklace in, and it
Right.
just goes on forever.
You like that?
Stealing from the blind.
And just like,
You like that scene? Is what you're saying?
it was funny.
What's funny is
It was funny. It's just a drawn out funny scene.
I don't know if you noticed, but
Filler.
like later on in the movie where he's going to bury her, that there's that little moment between them where he's burying her and she's looking at him and he looks back, she closes her eyes and he continues to diggle the hole, you know,
And then he stops.
and then he stops and looks back at her and she closes her eyes again. Yeah,
So it was kind of like the same little play.
right.
Yeah.
And they're known for doing that in all their movies. They kind of like, you know, little whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
Homage towards
homage
itself. Yeah.
to it. Yeah,
It was them little touches like that where it's just like little things. with the looking and the chin.
Sam's pretty good at that, I think. He mixes it up a lot. Like, his shots are really different. Like, I mean, I guess they had a director of photography, but not really, because Sam was, like, everything.
Right.
He wrote, directed,
acted,
everything. Like, he did so much in that movie. Well, I wouldn't say acting.
Oh, doubled.
Yeah, he did, like, stupid shit.
Right.
There's an Ivan Raimi, too, who was a double in the movie, too. So, that was their brother, I guess. I don't know.
Well, also, Ted Raimi was in the second movie. I don't think.
No, he was in this one too.
Was he in this one?
Yeah, he was a double in this one as a Shemp.
Oh, he was a Shemp, was he?
Yeah. What about you, Patrick? What scenes do you like?
Of course, I'm gonna go with my favorite scene first, which is at the very end where he burns the book. And the evil is trying to bust out of the bodies, and you see, like, the hands busting out from either side, and, like, the melting of the skulls.
See, that's what Ted Raimi did.
That was a good bit. I did like that. We actually see there's actually demons inside them.
Right.
Yeah, they used some, like, overlap film thing, I could tell.
It was like a werewolf sort of type thing trying to
It was like
out.
demon hands that were just, like, coming out of their insides, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And I love it when, like, you see him melt away, and the little cream corn, and like the green colors, the cockroaches crawling over everything. It was just a fucking awesome scene. Other than that,
that was one of mine. Actually.
I wouldn't be surprised because it's just one of those iconic scenes. It's just like,
well, one of the first ones that I noticed was the "shut it off"
right
when they're listening to the tape recording, because that whole series of events is just like, I don't know, it just builds a lot of real tension.
Right,
like the guy's voice talking. Kanda, like all that shit. Turn it off! Like, I don't know, it gives me chills thinking about it.
It's spark your interest, isn't it? If you hear that, you'd be like, you just want to just keep listening.
Right.
What is going on?
Right, there's like a morbid curiosity.
You would listen to it, wouldn't you? You'd be like, well, just need to keep listening to this.
Right. That's what I liked about it, too, because it's like, part of you is like this morbid curiosity.
We know better, because it's a horror film.
Well, right. Yeah, well, now that we know.
You're like, yeah, stop it, because I don't want to watch it anymore.
Right.
There's a film.
And she was right.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I thought it was a like nice little play on like what you're thinking in your head.
Right. And I think my other favorite scene, which is this will be my last, but is the scene where Linda's in the basement and Scotty's, I can't remember Scotty's girlfriend's name at the moment right now, is like, what's wrong with her eyes? Dear God, what's wrong with her eyes?
You like that? I thought that was a little overacted.
See, the thing about that bit is, like, they're all looking at her eyes. Oh, what's wrong with her eyes? She's floating 4 foot in the fucking air. Like, who gives a fuck about what her eyes are doing? She's fucking levitating.
Well, at this point, she's already in the basement, though.
She's on the stairs.
I thought you were about the bit when she's at the start, when she starts levitating the end.
Where she's like,
what's wrong with her eyes?
8 of spades, jack of clubs.
That's one of my scenes. She's like, Queen of spades, 4 of hearts, 8 of spades, 2 of spades, jack of clubs.
How is she fucking floating?
You will die! She's like, why have you disturbed our sleep, awakened us from our ancient slumber? You will die!
Yeah.
One by one we will take you, the pencil. And then the chick that falls on the ground after that, she grabs a pencil that's on the floor, which is like
the ankle.
Yeah, it's just laying there. There's like 2 pencils there. She grabs it. She jams that motherfucker and Ash's girlfriend's fucking ankle, like right in the ankle.
Right.
Like I rewatched it a couple of times to make sure.
Well, it was like the sweet spot between the ankle and the Achilles heel.
No. When she first jabs it in there, that is straight up ankle. It is straight up ankle.
Okay.
But when they show the mark on her foot where it turns into a spider web of black shit, it's below her ankle and towards her Achilles. I made sure because we talked about it.
Right.
And then but the other cool thing is when you realize that she's got white eyes with that sclera fucking contacts that she's got in, which was super cool and unique. And then it's like one thing after another. It's like this whole chain of events just like fucking, it's like dominoes, dude.
Yeah.
Like your whole mind is like, whoa, 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 holy shit.
Just
like,
slow down.
yeah, like can you imagine being back in 1981 with all that shit? I mean, I realize that The Exorcist was around, which you made a joke about. Why don't you tell us the joke real quick?
Oh, so before we came on and do the show, I was telling Warble over here that every show we do a horror shot, and I was like, maybe you should think about a horror shot name and what's in that shot that we could do. And he comes right back at me. He's like, "What about The Exorcist?" I was like, all right, that's good. I was like, so
That's the wrong film, though.
I was like, yeah, I was like, so that's the wrong film, but yeah, exorcising demons, I get it. I'm like, so what's in The Exorcist? And he's like, spirits.
It was more funny at the time.
I laughed. I thought it was
I thought it was
At the time,
hilarious.
It was more funny.
So
I had to change underwear after that.
another scene that I like, I got a couple other ones. The girl who is Scotty's girlfriend,
Right.
the one who gets thrown in the fire and her face is like melted, and she's like, "Oh God!" Like the demon's like, "What would I have
pretty
ever
flesh.
done if you'd left me on those hot coals?" Because Scotty has a second of clarity where he's like, "Oh my God, I just threw my girlfriend on the fire."
Right.
And her face is melting. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then fucking the demon's like mocking him. And he's like, "You've got pretty flesh. I want some of yours." But
Give
then,
it to us.
But then it gets stabbed in the back, and then it squirts out milk out of its stump and its mouth because he cuts off the hand.
Which is probably the longest screaming scene that I've ever seen in any movie.
Well, not just because he starts to cut the hand off halfway through the wrist, right? And then the demon's like, "Fuck off, I'm going to eat it," you know? And it just starts chewing through its fucking wrist and lops it off. And it's like, okay, what the fuck, right? Like, I can only imagine what 1981 people are thinking at this point in time. Like, okay, what the fuck did I just sign myself up for? But then he chops her up into little pieces, right? You see him like fucking axing the shit out of her.
He goes to town.
hit it!
Right.
He went to town.
Hit it!
Yeah.
Like, and then when he's done, he's like totally normal. He's like, "What?" Like, he's like, "I had to do it," you know? And then the pieces, it's like, it's so evil that the pieces are still twitching
Still going.
by themselves. Like, it's almost if like every inch of her fucking body is possessed and is trying to kill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of cool. I love that. I love that aspect.
So are we not mentioning the tree scene?
Oh, no, we can totally.
Are we
Is that
going
one of
there?
your favorite scenes,
Are
the
we
tree
going
scene?
there? Well,
Take us there.
Why do you gotta ask everything like a question and like
Yeah,
a
why have you got to
question,
do
a
that?
double question?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Is that your favorite?
Is that your favorite scene?
Yeah, he's like, is that your
Why don't
favorite
you take us
scene?
there?
Is that your favorite scene, Warble?
Well, it's like the pivotal scene, isn't it, that everyone talks about when they talk about Evil Dead. It's just
Well,
like,
yeah, it is one of
the
the most
scene with the tree.
iconic scenes
Yeah.
from that film, for sure.
And then when I saw it, I was a bit disappointed about how it just shoots in from just some weird angle.
Well, and you know it's just reverse,
Was that what they did?
film. Yeah,
They pulled it out.
they put it on her and then yanked it away really quick,
That's
and then
what it is.
reversed the film, flipped it over.
When you watch it, the angle it goes in, it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it looks weird,
Really
right? Well,
uncomfortable.
all of the branches like grabbing onto her
We're all reversed.
is all reverse
Oh, is it?
film, which is another unique technique that they did that nobody really was doing.
Right.
So it was like, I don't know, that's just kind of like cool touches. I mean, granted, Christina was like, I don't know if I should say this. I'll have to ask her if I can keep this in afterwards. But she was like, there's a hashtag going around about the Harvey Weinstein thing. And she was like, me too. Hashtag me too.
What's this?
She's like, I would share that if it was like,
Harvey what?
Appropriate.
so the guy who ran one of the biggest film companies in the world,
We were talking about this morning.
he was like basically fingering and trying to like molest people.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. But Christina was like, if everybody had a sense of humor, I would post that and put hashtag me too.
Yeah. Because that tree went in fucking dry.
Oh, yeah.
My
And she was
God.
wearing panties. I mean, you can clearly see it in the
Well, they put black panties on her, too.
right.
The illusion.
Probably at the time you couldn't tell.
It was like a fucking bow and arrow shot, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like Robin
Yeah.
Hood just came out of nowhere.
Didn't even send any fucking feelers in fucking first. Did it just
Yeah, there's no spitting on it. We're going in raw dog right away.
And we're going to get into that topic when we get into the next movie, too, because I want you to compare this scene versus the one in the new one.
Oh, he has
Don't
some
mention it.
He has some interesting things to say.
Don't
about
mention that yet, though. The only other two things that I can think of was the demon hands that you already mentioned. And then Ash's girlfriend was a demon, and then she comes back and asks him for him to not take her back. And then his sister starts asking him in the basement, like while banging up, Ash, I'm okay now. Everything's okay. And I like that aspect of it. That aspect in particular of them not knowing whether or not they were demons at that point in time always is something I think about in the back of my head when I watch this
that.
movie.
Right. And that line that you said is like, I'm okay now. I'm okay. Ash says the same thing in Evil Dead 2 when he becomes possessed.
They kind of touch upon it again in many different movies.
Right.
And the TV series. Now here's what I think. When I see that, I go, was she a demon pretending to be her, or was she actually
breaking through and being
breaking through and
Yeah.
getting a moment of clarity and experiencing all the pain and anguish and all that?
From what
Right.
I've seen for both of them, I think once they've been possessed by that demon, that's it.
You think?
You think they're just gone for good?
Yeah,
I feel like it's a struggle.
No, I don't think there's no struggle at all. From watching both of them, it's like there's zero struggle.
The only reason I think it's a struggle is because of something like The
Yeah.
Exorcist.
The only scene they seem to play on that when they're trying to get out of something. Or
Yeah, like they're like, don't hurt me. You love me.
Yeah, it seems like when it's not going their way, they'll start.
And it's funny because one of the demons does say that. It's like, you love her. You love her.
Don't do that. Don't chop her up. You love her.
Right.
Yeah.
Once they're in there, there's no good.
I think there might be something to that, yeah.
I feel like in my mind, if I really think about it, I feel like you're just kind of like a passenger in your own body,
Yeah.
and you're experiencing all the pain and hurt, and like
you're just watching.
you're just watching. So maybe they're just using her, but in the same respect, she's feeling all the pain. So in a way, they're puppeteering her, but they're not having to reap all the pain and all the, like, you know what I mean? So they're like putting all that on her.
Right.
So she's like the layer outside of it while while the demons are puppeteering inside. That seems more sadistic to me.
Yeah.
So, but overall, what do you guys think? I mean, like, honestly, like, I know I've seen it, I don't even know how many times.
Yeah, I can't count.
I've seen it a ton of times, but were you pretty happy with seeing it? Are you the type of person that gets scared, Warble, or do you not, or do you call it like, well, this is silly?
I don't think he does get scared about that kind of shit.
Well,
But-
what-
Yeah, when there's too much horror, well, not too much
Campy?
Gore, when there's too much gore going on, I lose it.
Really?
I like all the stuff when there's no gore. That's when it's
You,
spooky.
so you're saying you like it when it's left to your own imagination?
When there's no gore, it's spooky.
Is there a
when there's
movie that
gore,
scares
it
you?
gets silly.
That has scared you at least?
The first It film.
Really?
I was very young when I watched that.
So did you see the new one?
Yeah, and that cured me.
Oh, that's right. You did say that earlier.
I did.
I remember
cured me.
that.
I watched the first one. I'm really happy to watch the second one. I was completely cured.
Well, what about you, Patrick? Like, what do you think after your 700th time viewing?
Same thing I've always thought. Amazing.
I've seen it 1 or 2 times a year since
Right.
I've seen it. Like,
It's just one of those go-to movies, especially around October. It's just
yeah,
like, I gotta
I
watch-
always feel like Halloween is the time where you watch the classics.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You throw on the first Halloween, Evil Dead, whatever. But I feel the same way the first time I've ever seen it. Amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll keep coming back to it every year.
Is it the favorite out of the franchise, or
Out of everything, you mean out of every horror movie I've ever watched?
no,
it's my
out of
favorite?
Evil Dead franchise?
There's something I like about but I think I like a lot of what Evil Dead 1 had to offer. Like I said, I really liked the ambiance of it. The atmosphere of that movie was so eerie compared to the rest. Because the rest is kind of like strayed a little bit away from the horror and more into comedy.
Okay.
With little bit parts here and there. But yeah, the first one is definitely my favorite.
The ending went flat out Muppet Show for me.
You think?
Yeah, obviously back then it was been groundbreaking technology.
Probably,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Now it's just like it's terrible. The thing I did like is the little pukey. Was it a sword? Was it like a?
Yeah, it was a
Candarian.
dagger.
Yeah,
The
what
dagger.
was it
It's a
called?
sort
What
of
did
a
you call
dagger.
it?
It's the dagger Zumacalis.
Because there's one bit when someone I can't remember who got stabbed with it, but it gets stabbed and the little pukey skull at the end starts like puking up
But the blood.
with the blood starts. I thought it was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I like
See,
that
well,
little
that's
bit.
good. That's
A little bit. That stuck in my brain. There, just a little skull puking. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think this is just one of those movies that I'll always go back to. It's weird because it's almost like an automatic movie.
Right.
So, like, when
There's
I go,
like no question in your mind.
yeah, like, but it's also one of the movies I don't go like, oh, Evil Dead, because it's almost like automatic.
It's like second nature. It's like, yeah, of course
like
that's a great
when
movie.
people are like, what are your top 5 favorite films? And I go, well, and then I think about it, and it's like, well, Evil Dead's definitely up there. I just don't know where it places because it is such a classic.
Right.
The franchise in general is probably one of the better franchises, I think. Although there's not that many to really kind of make it.
Maybe possible Hellraiser, but even that doesn't
I don't know,
scrape
man. It's-
as much as like the way
There's never been a hero, an anti-hero, that has ever been that cool.
Right.
Like, and not just because Bruce Campbell's playing it, but the fact that this guy is destined to be tortured in the franchise and survive no matter what, just to be tortured.
Right.
I don't know. Something about that. It just, I don't know. But I like the first one a lot. I like that it's a little bit more scary. And it obviously inspired several sequels and some TV shows and a reboot of a reboot of a reboot. Because to me, Evil Dead 2 is a reboot. Sorry.
And not to mention a lot of those shots that they were using in that film, like the construction of the chainsaw. Well, not necessarily that film, but like the shots that they use, like when he's like, building shit. A lot of films do that now. We'll like take that piece from Evil Dead and
the little
make it their
quick
own.
snap shots.
Yeah, where it's like chainsaw.
Well, that was part 2 that did that the most.
Well, there was a scene in the first movie that did something like that as well.
Yeah, they do it shortly, but the second one really epitomized
Right.
that whole like montage segment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like of
Right.
you know, like what I mean, like, and especially in the evil the Army of Darkness, they like when he's putting the hand together and he's like groovy,
Right.
You
He's
know,
like looking through like science.
he
books and
crushes the
shit.
cup, you know. Anyway, so guys, if you haven't seen this movie, I mean, I'm really surprised at you. You really should watch the original. It may not be up to snuff in what you're used to watching, but I think it does definitely have its place in horror history. It is one of the biggest, in my opinion, franchises. I love the movie without even, I don't know. It's like it'd be weird not to include it in some top list.
I agree.
I don't know.
I
if-
totally agree.
I'm still up in the air whether 1 or 2 is the best. I feel like part 2 had the money, part 1 didn't. But what they did and pioneered with part 1 is just so memorable.
Like part 1 had the soul.
Yeah, probably. Part 2 kind of like kind of figured things out and tried to like spice it up.
Right.
But there is another reboot that came out in 2013 that we can talk about.
Should we?
And Warble had actually seen this previous to this, right?
Yeah, I've seen the.
But you hadn't seen the
remake.
unrated, right?
No.
'Cause we all-
Did we all watch the unrated one?
Yeah, we watched the unrated one.
We all decided to watch the unrated version of this.
It was a while ago since I watched it, so I couldn't
Okay.
remember which one I watched.
I personally prefer the unrated, not because of the end credit scene or anything. The end credit scene I could have done without. But this one, I feel like has a little bit extra in it, so we're probably going to be talking about that a little bit more. So if you haven't already seen it, it's only available digitally, by the way, guys. So it is technically just a digital copy. You can't get it on Blu-ray, and you might not even be able to see it in like streaming services because I think most of them just play the regular one, right? But anyway, the reboot that came out 2013. And a lot of people were anticipating some sort of sequel more than they were a reboot.
Right.
I think a lot of people were really torn on the fact that there was going to be a new movie that was going to be basically redoing the whole movie because nobody felt like it could be done.
Well, here's the thing. If you don't look so much at the actual era of time that they're in, if you just disregard that, it could be before the first movie.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that we'll bring up a little bit towards the end. I just wanted to mention the fact that,
Yeah, the cars.
well, oh yeah, because it's a Ford. That's like an old 90s vehicle, too. But I think there is some things that I do want to point out when we get in a little bit more into depth. But I just wanted to mention, when this movie first came out, there was a little bit of tension about there being a remake or reboot about it. Because at this time, we hadn't had too many good reboots for a while.
Right.
Or remakes. And reboot was kind of like a new terminology that was being thrown around a lot, right?
Well, because it was what was the era of that.
Yeah, we didn't even start using reboots until later on. But this movie came out in 2013. The story is 5 friends head to a remote cabin where the discovery of a book of the dead leads them to unwittingly summon up demons living in the nearby woods, which is pretty bland.
Yeah, it's like the demons are already there just living in like trees and shit. They're like, someone ring the doorbell.
Obviously, this movie was produced by Rob Tappert, who is one of the people who own it. Rob Tappert being the bigger, I think, executive or whatever. It was directed and written by Fede Alvarez, who also did the movie Don't Breathe. He's also doing the movie Don't Breathe 2. He's got an upcoming movie called Monster Apocalypse, Labyrinth, and a bunch of other stuff, but he's relatively new.
Wait, Labyrinth reboot.
No, I don't know if it's that. I think it's just called Labyrinth. It doesn't. I don't. And I don't want to assume. But I looked up in his movies and I saw Labyrinth. So, but the cast is But the cast is Jane Levy, who plays Mia. She was also in Don't Breathe. She's going to be coming out on the Castle Rock TV series, which is the Stephen King Hulu show that they're going to be doing, like paying homage to all the classic movies. She's also going to be, she was in I Don't Feel at Home in This World as a bit part in, it's a Netflix movie. She also did Monster Trucks.
Was that like a Pixar film?
It's like a kid's movie where they fucking...
There was monsters in the
inside
actual
the truck. Yeah, it's really bad. I think it had one of the guys from Supernatural in it, believe it or not. She was also in Shameless.
Shameless, great.
Yeah,
great
which is
series.
one of your favorite shows. Also, it stars Shiloh Fernandez, who plays David, her sister. He was in the movie Dead Girl as one of the guy's main characters, by the way.
Which guy? Was he the punk kid, or was he the guy that was like trying to fall in love with this girl?
The one that wasn't the red-haired guy.
Okay, so he was the guy that was like
right.
falling
We did
in love.
this movie, remember?
Oh yeah. This movie was fucking weird.
It's actually pretty good.
It was good, yeah.
He was also in We Are Your Friends, and he was also in he was in a movie called Don't Look Up, which was kind of like a B-budget film. It also stars Jessica Lewis, who plays Olivia. She was in the movie Cloverfield. She was one of the best friend's girlfriends. She was also in Pompeii, The Covenant, and a TV show called The Cult. Also stars Lou Taylor Pucci, who plays Eric, the guy with the glasses, a.k.a.
I have a friend that looks exactly like this.
You were
dude.
saying that. He was just like a bigger guy, a bigger version.
Yeah, he's just a bigger guy. Yeah. Shout out to Chris Appling. You're the best engine master ever.
He was in the movie Spring, Ava's Possession, which I really like. He was also in a movie called Carriers, and the movie Fanboys about the Star Wars guys.
Yeah, that was a good movie where they were on a trip. They were trying to see the episode 1 before it was released. Right. Which is a big pile of crap.
Yeah, which makes it even more funny.
Right. That guy died of cancer right there in the theater.
Right. It also stars Elizabeth Blackmore, who plays Natalie. She's the blonde-haired girl with the sneakers and the dress and the nails in her face. She's in the Vampire Diaries. She was also in the new series of the Supernatural. She was in the new season. She was in like 5 episodes.
My wife would probably know about that, more about that than I
Well, you
do.
watched the new Supernatural.
I haven't picked up on it since.
I thought you watched it.
I did, but like I haven't watched the last 2 seasons of it.
All right. Well, anyway, she's in it. So now that we've asked you first what your thoughts were, what are your thoughts of the new one, Patrick? Of this reboot?
You asked me?
We asked you for the first one, so I'm skipping to him. You're not important. I'm just kidding. We're saving you for next.
I like this film. I'm not sure if it was just the thirst of not having Evil Dead in such a long time and just them releasing it and being like, oh, Evil Dead. Because I watched it like 3 times in the theater.
You wanted to see it. You just wanted to be back in that world.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say the only thing I didn't like about the film was the actual demon voices. I didn't think it was demonic enough.
Okay.
But other than that, I thought it was good. I thought it was visceral. Good cinematography, but was it on par with? Well, we won't get into that.
Yeah, we can. I mean, it's fine. Go ahead.
I don't think it's on
Just
par.
don't go into specifics yet.
Right. I just don't think it's on par with the original series.
Okay. What about you, Warble?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I thought the first was a lot better. The second one seemed to just rely on gore.
Right.
And it just loses it.
It didn't have the atmosphere.
It's got the gore.
No.
Yeah.
There was no tension.
The tension. There was no build up to, no spookiness going on.
It's like, you released the evil. This bam.
You in the evil cabin with the cats hanging on the roof and the demonic book there, and it's all too much.
It's like it had all the elements.
It's put on a plate for you. And there's evil stuff gonna happen.
It's like watching somebody play out your life.
Right.
In a way. I don't know how to explain it.
Maybe Pat's life.
Do you know what I mean, though?
I'm pretty happy with my shit.
It's like you're pretty well versed in your own life, so you know how it kind of went down. But when you watch somebody else play you, it's kind of awkward, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. Like, I actually really like it.
Right. Me too. But I don't think it holds a candle to the original series.
If I had a choice, I'd watch the first one.
Over and over again?
Every time.
If you were stuck on an island and you could only pick one or the other.
I'd seen the first one once.
Yeah.
I was the second one once, and then
Do you think you'll watch the first one again?
I got bored watching the second one again.
Really?
It was just gore, and I was just a turn off. There was
Okay.
I find stuff scary when it's not gory.
When it leaves it to your own imagination to fill in the pictures.
I think I must have a fucked up imagination.
I'm kind of like...
My brain's so much better than...
So let me ask you something real quick. Did the first Blair Witch movie scare you?
I get the feeling he's not into that.
Because that is one of those movies that left a lot to your own imagination.
Yeah, you didn't show you anything.
Maybe a little...
Really?
Do we need to watch it again? Should we watch it?
Well, no, because it will bore the shit out of me for watching it again. I watched it once. It was not a lot happens, does it?
No.
Until the last 5 minutes.
Right.
Back to this reboot of Evil Dead, which is just called Evil Dead. I don't know why they chose that.
I'm going to make it different somehow, didn't they?
Right.
I think, like you said that there was some seriously nice cinematography. I feel like there was a lot of really amazing shots in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It followed the aesthetic and everything was really nice. Like, I felt like the scenery was really nice. They like decorated and did all the setup and everything was beautifully. It was all perfect there. It is super brutal. It is very graphic and over gore, which they were unabashedly enjoying, and had to trim it back from an NC-17 rating to make it into an R rating because it was just so much. I think the practical effects, though, while it may be just more gore than it is atmosphere, were really great. I did wince a few times throughout the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Even after rewatching it, I still winced a little.
Yeah, I saw that. I was eating fried chicken whilst Pat was fucking
He
high.
was.
He
with
was-
like
he was-
hot sauce and shit.
He was hiding me on pillows, so I was like, got some more hot sauce in?
Okay, there was no pillows, but I was looking away.
So he had his hand in your ass?
Yes.
Nice.
He was puppeteering me.
Nice. I do feel like there are a few changes that sort of bother me in the movie. Like, they kind of wanted to do something their own way, and I think it was a little too over-explained.
Like what?
Like, they didn't need to go that far, but they did. Just the whole set of rules that they made up, I personally don't feel like they needed to divulge that much. It was nice that they did because it's like this extra deeper mythos that they could have, but that's something they could have fleshed out over several different sequels.
Right. In which I'm still waiting to see a sequel.
They've been talking about, we'll get into this in a little bit, but I'll explain it. But I think the whole drug addiction element that they added in this movie was a little cheap grab.
I like that because it was just like that they had to keep her there.
I like the idea of it. I don't think they executed it well.
She's like, we're going to keep you, but we should leave now, guys. Yeah, I like that.
It is.
I did like that bit.
You know, maybe it's because it frustrates me because a typical trope, whether it's drug addiction or not, nobody believes the person who actually sees it happen or knows that it's happening.
Right.
So it always gets under my skin. It's like, fucking got to. Like, if I heard somebody saying that crazy shit, I'd be like, well, maybe we should just leave because this is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
They put too much backstory. Oh, she's going to start hallucinating. Oh, she's going to say this and that. And then she starts
It's too
doing all that as
preemptive
well.
at that
It's just like,
point.
here we go.
Right. Like I felt like it was just a little too much in that regard. I don't think it was executed well at the very least. I mean, first of all, here's the biggest gripe I have with it, and I don't want to get into too much details, but they kind of mention it really early on. Hey, David, while you were gone, she almost died from drug addiction.
Right.
When she tried to go cold turkey, and she had to be resuscitated with fucking paddles like electric shock.
And she won't survive another one.
And she won't survive another one. Well, why the fuck are you taking her out into the middle of a fucking forest, in the middle of nowhere, where there's no medical fucking doctors like that could fucking handle a situation if you and your fucking nursing degree think that you could fucking handle? Why the fuck would you do that?
I literally never noticed that till you just mentioned it.
Because
that is
horror
stupid
movies.
as fuck. Yeah.
I'm not
stupid as
trying to be
fuck.
picky. I'm just saying, like, why would you bring somebody out in the middle of nowhere? I know that they had to kind of formulate some sort of idea and why, but I feel like adding the part where she almost died kind of, like, they could have used some other way. They could have figured out some other way.
Well, that was more reason to keep her there, wasn't it?
It was,
that
but
gave
they-
the more reason why. That's why we have to keep her here even more.
I totally agree, but I think they could have been like, she was so devastated that you weren't there the last time when her mom died that she really needed you there, and now that you're here, you need to stand up for her. They could have done it just as simple as that and not had that whole fucking dumb shit.
Right.
Because you don't go out in the middle of the woods when someone's going to die possibly from fucking a drug addiction. If it's that bad, you don't fuck around with chance. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be too picky, but they also added, like I said, the new rule set. They have like 5 deaths to feed the demon sort of thing, which was kind of like interesting, but I don't know if it really needed to be spoken about.
No, probably not.
I mean, you kind of get the gist and learning the rule set in horror movies, but you don't need to be told it.
I thought that was all right, that bit. It's just
Okay.
like, well, if father them died, you know, the devil's going to... Is it the devil? The demon?
I think I'm just comparing it to the original, where it's more assumed.
The world's going to get messed up if 5 of these people die.
Right. Like, they put too much of a finer point on it, and I don't think it was necessary.
I didn't mind that bit.
Well, you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. No, it's just for me, it felt that way. And I wrote a lot of notes down about what I feel about this movie because I am very particular about this movie. Even though I still like it, I don't think it's a perfect film.
That book said a lot of important stuff, doesn't it?
It does, but I...
Stop fucking reading the fucking book, you stupid cunt.
Right.
Put it down.
And he still reads
just
it.
Carries on.
Yeah.
That's the reason why the whole of that film...
He done fucked up.
I was waiting for him. I was looking forward to him dying. Because he deserves to fucking die.
And he was punished more than anybody else in that film.
Because of that, because I didn't give one shit about what happened to him. I was like, yeah, fucking punish him.
Well, and I have a theory about that and why I was hoping his character would be a certain thing that we'll talk about a little later. One other thing I wanted to mention is that in the original Evil Dead, it was not like they treated this one in this reboot like a virus. Everything was directly physical.
Right, he had to puke on you or bite you or...
Yeah, and I've mentioned this in other podcasts. One of the things that really bothered me about this new reboot is that there was not that cool, slick camera work that made you feel like something was looming in the darkness.
Yeah.
That was like watching them. That was like a character that
Maybe
was like
just like a little bit
them.
at the beginning when Mia got possessed.
It's like they walked through the steps of it, but they didn't sell it.
Can we do the tree thing again now?
The tree.
When
Well, not yet.
Not going there yet.
We'll get there.
Don't bust your nut just yet.
Yeah, don't bust your nut. But I really feel like the aspect of the looming evil was missing.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like they kind of like, it's almost like they like just like shortcutted it and just kind of like, oh, we did it though. Yeah. You know, it wasn't like, hey, we actually spent the time trying to develop this camera as a character where the first one did it. This one did not. It just kind of did it for stylistic reasons.
Yeah, the first one felt like, you know, once they'd released the demons, they were possessed. They were being, you know, possessed by the demons. The second one, they had to get bit or they had to get puked on. Yeah.
Like, do you remember the scene where the main girl, Maya, is like running through the forest? And it's a really cool shot where they like...
Before she gets caught by the tree.
Yeah. Well, no, it was right after. Or maybe you're right. Maybe it is before.
Yeah.
She's running, and the camera's like shooting down behind her, and she ducks beside a tree. Like, that is a really cool shot, but I didn't go, oh, that's evil chasing her.
Right.
I didn't make the
cool
connection.
Shot.
I didn't make the connection that was like what was going on there. That's what they intended. Because they thought, well, if I just zoom the camera in, they'll get it, right?
Right.
No, Sam Raimi developed a fucking character with the camera, a fucking relationship with the camera that the viewer got.
That noise, though.
Right, sure, but it just didn't. I don't know. It's just almost like I said, they just went through the motions. They didn't really develop the camera as a character.
Right.
I will say that it is not a bad remake. It definitely attempts to cover some new ground, which I do give it props for. Whether I liked it or not, it doesn't matter. At least it tried to do something a little bit newer. It did throw me for a loop, had a couple of new twists that I liked. They even had a few bits of homage in there.
Even some original audio files, like when the evil first busts in and takes Mia.
Right, they even
one
had that.
by one we will take you.
Right, the same audio. They did a lot of homages. Actually, in the unrated version, you hear a lot more of that stuff in there, the homages that they threw in there. But yeah, I don't want to get into the details of it. I just think that the unrated is the way to go if you really appreciate the first one. Honestly, I highly recommend you getting it and buying it on digital because I personally just like the extra bits that they put in there. It makes the demons seem more sadistic and it seems more realistic and it just makes it feel like the vibe of Evil Dead a little bit more. Not 100%.
Not completely, yeah.
But just a little bit more. It just gives it that extra little like, oh, I like Deadites. But all in all, I think honestly, for somebody that this is their first fucking feature film, this is the first movie that they ever made as a huge feature film, and they get handed the keys to fucking Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Fede Alvarez, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why can't I get handed the fucking keys? Like, what? Whose dick did I need to suck to fucking get that fucking dick in my mouth? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what, like, I'm not trying to say that he did a bad job. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of random, isn't it? That some random guy...
Well, wasn't it because of the short that he made?
Yes. And we could get into that.
Seen.
He did a short, Warble, called Panic Attack, which became viral in a time when being viral was a really big deal. Now everybody goes viral compared to what he did. But it's a story about robots attacking, and he did all the, like, special effects, like CGI and shit, in this, like, robots attacking the world thing. And Sam Raimi saw it and wanted to make a feature film of it. He thought, oh, well, let's make this into a real movie. And a lot of the investors just didn't take to it, so it got dropped. So after, I think it was like a year or something like that, Sam Raimi was like, yeah, it's not going to happen, I'm sorry. So Fede was like, yo, I got an idea. If we can't get him to buy onto this Panic Attack, why don't we try to do a reboot of Evil Dead? And Sam Raimi was like, I like your spunk.
Dollar sign.
You got moxie.
After that.
Yeah, you got moxie.
Dollar signs popped in whoever's eyes it was. Thought, yeah, we got this. Dollar
Well,
sign.
and you know what? I think originally it was Sam Raimi and Rob Tapert who were on board for this because they knew that they had money sitting there.
Right.
And they knew that fans really adored it and loved it. Bruce Campbell, however, not so much. He was like, fans are going to hate this. They don't have Ash in there as a character. Like, we can't do this, guys. We can't do it. And it wasn't because he was just like, oh, I'm not in the movie, although I'm sure that had some. But I think ultimately he's a fan of the story, and Ash is such a good, tormented character that I think that he just felt like the fans wouldn't like it. And in a lot of ways, before the movie even was while the movie was getting made, a lot of people argued some of the same points that he was making.
Had the chin as well. Didn't have the chin.
What?
David.
The epic
David
chin.
didn't have the chin, did he?
Yeah, she didn't have the chin.
No.
The chin.
She took it on the chin. But
He took up the chin.
No, Olivia took it on the chin, I think.
Yeah, but David didn't have the chin.
Yeah, I don't think, and you know what? I know I've had friends who are female who have brought up that they love the fact that it was a female actor, and I'm totally cool with that. I didn't have any problem with that. In fact, I'm glad that they took a female actor and did something completely different rather than try to mimic Ash, right? Like, because it's just nobody can replace Ash. If it's not Ash, it's not. If it's not Bruce, it's not Ash.
Right.
So why even try to fucking compete with it? And that's when he signed on board and was like, you know what? All right. You know what? She's, they, like, sorry to ruin it for you, but, like, they kind of make you wonder who it is. Like, you don't know if it's going to be Shiloh, his character is David, which is the sister of Maya, or if it's going to be fucking, I thought it was going to be the fucking Eric guy.
The nerdy guy.
The nerdy guy with the glasses.
No, never. No.
Well, we got to remember, Ash in the first movie was very...
Well, we don't want to say who did yet, so let's wait on that.
All
but
right.
I'll explain why I think it should have been him in a little bit. But
I'd have been pissed right off if he didn't die.
really,
Yeah.
I loved his character.
I did too.
I'm so glad he was knocked around so much during that film there. In fact, not enough. We should have just kept raised him.
There was a lot of blood used on this movie. Like you said, it's mostly a gore movie, right?
It was a gore fest.
But in the same respect, when the first Evil Dead came out, even Rob Tapert said that people said this is the exact reason why horror shouldn't exist. Because it was subversive and fucked up, and they did things that you shouldn't do in movies, like tree sex.
The second one.
Like tree rape.
No, the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
So let's talk about your little tree rape scene. How about that?
I've got nothing.
What do you think compared to the original tree rape scene and this one in this movie?
Well, in the second one.
In the new one. The reboot.
Yeah, the newer one. Yeah, it did seem to, like, lube up a little bit more.
It wasn't a raw dog.
Yeah, it took a bit of care,
It was a little bit darker.
It sent the feelers in first, test it out, what's going on
They
there.
did it a little more
And
tastefully.
then just slid it in there. The first one, just
Yeah.
Not before whipping out the titties. A little bit of titty shot.
Oh,
There
yeah, they did that too, huh?
there
in the
was no
original.
booby shots in this one.
That's true.
which is kind of sad because I liked it.
There was absolutely...
I think in the original there was like a total of 3 boob shots. 2 boob shots. Sorry.
Okay.
I count these. Sorry.
Yeah, there was 2 boob shots because it was Scott's girlfriend who was
Getting
in the
dressed.
window. Yeah. You see her little 80s curved boobie.
Little teardrop boobies.
But I think the tree scene in the second one, or the reboot, was more important because that was when the actual demon took hold of her.
Yeah, it was more symbolic.
In the first one, it just planted a fucking root inside her. Just whoosh, and that was it.
And it went actually all up in her.
In the second one, it was like, yeah, that's inside her now, and that's when she came back with like being possessed.
Right.
I mean, that's a good point, but in the same respect, it also is like solidifies that in order to catch this virus,
like you said, you called it a virus.
You need to be implanted with it.
Right.
The first one, it was more you've unleashed the demons. It's taken hold of you.
Like Jason Goes to Hell, you have to spit the worm in the mouth of the person.
Right.
So it kind of like condenses the evil to a specific thing.
Like a symbiote.
Right. And if it's true evil, it's just everywhere, right? If you unlock the door to evil, it's not just going to be solidified into one
little thing, yeah.
One little like porous fucking like barbed wire fucking branch that sucks up into your vagina or mouth. Because they do that in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, why would it be just condensed into that? That's very limited.
Right. Or a bite, like a zombie bite.
That's where my disconnect is that virus thing.
The bite in the hand, wasn't it?
What?
The one that took the bite in the hand.
Right. She was, squeezing the little fucking things out.
Because she went down into the basement first and got kissed.
Oh, she was knocked out for a
But
while.
she was bit first.
No.
She was knocked out. She got knocked out first. You have no idea what happened when she was knocked out, have you?
Right. And she got bit on the hand because she was holding the fucking razor blade to the fucking chick in the basement, right? And then she kisses her and passes the fucking slug fucking tree branch into her mouth.
But the thing was, when she's cutting her arm off,
you see her put her hand under the faucet.
Mia she looks like she's cutting it off, and she can see the worried look in her face. Like,
she's don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Like she'd almost got rid of it, but I think she just didn't cut it just in time, did she?
Right.
I thought of it as like, well, she's already infected. She's just playing along to make her.
If you watch it, I think you can see the horrified look in Mia's face, how she's about to get rid of it, and she's not going to get taken hold of.
I feel like she was doing that to make her do it anyway.
But you couldn't see it. You couldn't.
Do you know what I mean?
You
like,
couldn't see what she was like in the basement.
So it was like reverse psychology.
Exactly.
Like, don't do it, so do it.
Yeah,
yes.
But you couldn't. She couldn't see what was going on, could she? Because she was elsewhere. She was in a completely different part of the building, so she didn't know what was going on.
No, she was facing the cellar door.
She was like, "Don't you do it! Don't you do it!" Like,
no, the door
hey,
shut
go
then.
do it! Go do it!
And they shut the door.
Because if she spit that worm into her mouth, she already knows that she's infected. Because I recognize that because the worm went from that one chick's mouth into her vagina, and then she spits that worm into her. So it's like, okay, that's how they get possessed, is this.
Because I thought as she was cutting her arm off, Mia's face looked horrified, and she was like, "No," but then she smiled.
Right. See?
Just before she cut it.
Right.
And it's hanging on, so I think it just got in.
She knew. That's what I'm saying. Reverse psychology.
So she hadn't cut it off in time. That's what I thought.
Know.
That's what I thought.
Maybe.
I feel like she was trying to get her to cut her arm off the whole time by making her believe that she was doing something to save herself.
Right. That seems a little bit more demonic to me.
Me too, right? You're like they were playing mind games.
Right.
No, I think she was like really worried that she wasn't going to get taken hold of.
And this is why we wanted you on here.
Why do
Different points of view.
And what do you guys think who are listening right now? What do you think?
Sound off in the comments.
Yeah, let us know who's the better person.
And also, did BB-8 give the finger or did he give the thumbs up?
The thumbs up, motherfucker.
It was totally the finger.
To give you guys a little bit more of a trivia so that we can kind of go through this a bit, according to the reports in the press, the whole end scene that we haven't talked about quite yet, they used over 70,000 gallons of fake blood, and Fatty Alvarez said that they used about 50,000. But for the final scene, just the final scene by itself. So between 50 and 70,000 gallons.
Was that the raining blood, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The raining blood, yeah.
This is compared to the 200 and 300 gallons used in the original movie. So, which is pretty big, you know, like that's like surpassing it by like thousands.
Right.
They did say that 95% of the remake was actually shot in order so that all the scenes were in sequence.
That's kind of unheard of.
There's some movies that do it, but he wanted to make sure that they did it because a lot of the film takes place in a controlled environment. And the level of blood and violence gets worse and worse as the film progresses. So more blood, more splatter everywhere that they go. So it would have been a lot of cleanup in the process. So he kind of he shaved off time by doing it in that way.
Right.
And if you take the first letters, by the way, of each of the main characters' names, you have David, Eric, Maya, Olivia, and Natalie. What does that spell?
Demon.
Right. Intentional.
Right.
It's too much.
You know what? But Fede Alvarez is a true fan. I don't know that he actually, in my opinion, gets the fucking original as much as I would feel, like in the way I see the original. But I like that he actually put that effort in there. It shows he cares, in my opinion.
It's too much. It kills it for me. That sort of shit.
Tried
too hard.
But you never realized that.
Do you remember
subtext?
And now it's made the film even fucking shit for me. Well done.
You know the part where the sister breaks the necklace because she blames him for not taking her home? She was like, "You're here to support me," blah, blah, blah. Well, that necklace is found outside of the cabin, and it can be seen in it resting in the shape of a skull.
Which is a classic Evil Dead trope.
It's a throwback to I think, part 2.
It's part 1, 2, and 3.
Really?
It's in all of them.
I don't remember I didn't see it in the first one.
I think in Army of Darkness, I can't remember exactly what it was. It may not have been that necklace. It may have been something else that made the shape of a skull. But it was definitely in all of them.
Okay. Well, they do it in this one, apparently. I did not know that. Must have been looking away while writing notes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens right where, when at the end, where Ash is trying to get to the book to throw it into the fire.
Uh-huh.
The first when he picks up the necklace, it's in the shape of a skull.
Okay. See, I'm talking about it. I don't remember it in the new movie. Or I don't actually remember it in the first one or the new movie.
Oh, really?
I don't remember seeing it either.
You must have looked away. Yeah, you had to have looked away.
There is another homage in this movie. If you remember the part we were talking about in the original where she's reading the cards aloud.
Right.
Every single card that chick names off in the original movie, in the scene, there's cards that are spread out on the table, and the cards laid out in the order that Cheryl from the original movie reads them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't
because
know that.
He wanted to have those in there.
Hmm.
Another fucking homage. Also, Fede Alvarez really wanted to make people feel the fear of being in the woods a little bit. So they were like trying to scare people a little bit. And he would take Shiloh into the woods, the main guy, David, her brother, and put him into the middle of the woods. And he was like, can you just wait here for a little bit? He's like, there's a lot of crazy stories about these woods, so just be a little bit careful because there's been some murders out here. I want to let you know about it just because, there was all these crazy things. And he told him all this fake story and then left him out there for a long while and then came back to tell him to come back. And he said that because of that, his scene had a real scare factor. But I don't personally think that Shiloh did that great of a job.
I will agree on that.
I didn't like his character, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
I don't think he's a bad actor. I just don't think this was the role for him.
I agree.
I think he's a good actor. I really don't. I didn't like him in this movie. What about you, Warble?
I didn't care much, to be fair, either.
Yeah, he just didn't. He felt bland.
Who else would you stick in there? I don't know.
Yeah, you could put anybody in that role.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't get any kind of sense of fear from him.
And the fucked up part is he's supposed to be. He's wearing a blue shirt like fucking Ash was in the original movie. They were trying to fucking make you believe that he was Ash.
And when he died at the end, did you really give a shit? Because I didn't.
I didn't give a shit at all.
No.
At all.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%.
It's like, yeah, whatever.
It was just like, oh, you're gonna die next? Cool. All right, I want to see you die. Like, I'm glad you're dead. I did tell you that the "We're gonna get you, not another peep, time to go to sleep." That was only in the unrated version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't have that in the theatrical version.
which is stupid.
Which is a really good part.
Right. Because
I think it was good that they put it back in the unrated. That's another thing that you should watch the unrated for, guys.
It's good, yeah, more demon speaks.
Exactly. Like, I feel like the characters of the demons, like, really shine in the unrated.
They didn't get a look in, did they?
No.
It was in the normal version.
And the theatrical, it's just boring. It's like, oh, they're just demonic. This one takes it a step further and makes them more sadistic.
Like when Eric was on fire and he's like, join us.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck, yes.
Well, it's just that extra little touch. I don't know what it is.
I say it's down to the virus thing. How all you've been infected is the virus.
Yeah.
I felt like they gave him more of a voice. The unrated gives it a little bit more of the demonic.
Yeah. Although I don't agree with the pitch or the sound of the demons.
Yeah,
it
is
makes
a little
it a
weird.
little bit better.
I think that's another point I was going to bring up is that, you know, when she drops to the floor and she's like, you're all going to die here tonight.
Yeah.
I thought that was so lame.
That's the first thing she says, wasn't it?
When she gets possessed, right?
Right. She does that.
The door slams open. She shoots her brother in the arm.
Oh, yeah, I think I quite like that.
You know what? You know what? That part where she shoots him in the arm is an homage to part 2. Remember when Ash shoots the door?
Oh, shoots the door, yeah, and
he shoots.
I've not seen a second.
You shot Jezebel, or whatever the fuck her name was. I can't remember in part 2.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe. Yeah, that's an homage to that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Jane Levy said that Bruce Campbell kind of wrote her and met her when they first did the audition when she was to play Mia because they knew that she was going to be something special in this movie. And Bruce was like, do you know what it's like to work in fucking cold weather? You know what it's like to have a tube down your throat when you're like buried your face underwater? Are you prepared for this? Are you seriously prepared for this? Because this is going to be a lot of work.
I think she was the best character for me.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mia.
Really?
Good character. I like that.
You know, I think her acting really... I liked a lot of her parts. I thought they were really good.
Well, I don't doubt for a second that she did... Like, this is the first role she's done as a horror, like Scream Queen, whatever
right?
You
Because
want
I
to call
think
it.
before this, she was on some TV show.
She was kiddie actor.
Yeah, it was some kind of sitcom-y, maybe not sitcom-y, but something.
She's a
like
good
that.
actor. I definitely just don't disagree with that, but I don't feel like she did as much work as they probably did Guerrilla Style in the first one.
Hell no!
Out of all of them, I think she was the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not so much she's epic.
Well, next to Eric,
she was the
That's
best.
what I was gonna say. Eric is my favorite.
The long-haired hippie dude.
Yes, I think he was the
one
best.
Who released the demons?
Fuck
him.
I love him.
But his acting was top notch.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
I thought it was
good.
great.
Like
Yeah.
fucking Shaggy off Scooby Doo.
Honestly, any scene that Eric was in, I was. Here's the thing: Bruce Campbell plays the part of Ash, who in the series is constantly tortured by evil. Right, knowing that we know Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Ash versus Evil Dead, he is destined to be tortured for eternity to fight off evil the whole time and always win through the worst measures possible. And when I saw Eric getting his ass beat, stabbed, and fucking punished, I was like, he deserves to be Ash.
Right.
He
Like-
deserves to fucking die.
That's what I thought of, though. I was like, man, this guy's funny still, even after he's fucking, like, been brutalized, you know what I mean? And I thought, oh, well, this could be Ash. Like, he totally could be Ash. Like, that was my first experience when I first saw the movie. And I really do like his character, so I was a little disappointed, not because it was not a male character, but more because I felt like he deserved it after all the torment that he went through. And not to say that Mia was not tortured in the movie. She definitely was. She was raped. She was like fucking all this other stuff. But I just feel like I was expecting him to be Ash.
I just wanted.
I think he was definitely punished more than anybody else in that movie.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
He fucking deserves it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you say that.
He unleashed
the evil,
demons.
even after reading all those little notes in the book. Still did it.
But isn't that the fucking... But see, that's the thing about Ash, right? He stumbles upon this thing, he accidentally unleashes it, and now he's tortured to be responsible for it. So
Right.
that's why I felt Eric deserved to be.
I see where you're coming from, and I'll agree with that.
I don't know. That's my opinion. She's cool. She's a good actor. She plays a tough girl. That's for damn sure. Like she plays a really good tough character. So
She's a good heroine for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
How did she look normal at the end?
Usually,
Can you explain that?
What do you mean? Why she was like back
How-
to normal?
Yeah, or she obviously doesn't.
Because he resurrected her. Part of the thing was you either dismember somebody, cleanse them with fire, or bury them alive to kill the evil. That was the rule set. And he buried her alive and brought her back to life through some fucking science where he wrapped some fucking...
She had
needles around the battery.
Scars going on. A couple of scars. No, the
well,
tongue.
yeah, she had the burn marks on her face from when she burned herself
and
in the
tongue
shower.
Thing, the tongue thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
It wasn't all like lizard tongue at the end, was she?
No.
Well, that's another thing, but, I mean, if we're going to be nitpicky a little bit, personally, why would the brother who's not good at fucking medical shit all of a sudden know how to whip out a fucking 2 needles?
Like a defibrillator.
Yeah, and he makes a fucking homemade defibrillator? Like, really?
Nah.
Under pressure as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you really going to take that much of a chance? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I mean, I guess he's going to take the chance because it's either dismember or burn her. And he was like, I can't do it, so I guess I'll do this. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, well, that much electricity is running through metal on plastic. It's going to melt the fuck out of that plastic. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even going to make sense. So, but, I mean, it was kind of an interesting choice.
That bit I can get. The bit where he's defibbing her, I can get that. But just the way she just looks completely normal after all this shit.
Yeah,
that
with
she's
no
gone
burn
through.
marks or
There's
anything.
Just nothing on her at all.
They did that in other movies, though.
But
Yeah.
we're not talking about other movies. Though.
Well, like, their faces were all fucked up.
And then they went back to normal.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know.
We'll just chalk that up to it
we'll
was
gloss
evil.
over that. We'll gloss over
Yeah,
that.
the gloss.
That's fine.
Moving forward.
What are your favorite scenes?
Okay, this is the least amount of action that happens in the movie, but like me being like a camera person and in cinematography is my absolute favorite scene in the movie is after the opening bit with the guy and his daughter in the cellar, and after all that, when it actually goes into the real movie and you see the camera and it's upside down above the forest, and then it
that's a
flips
cool
around
like
and
the
it comes to the
trees.
Jeep. Oh, dude, this is such an amazing camera movement. It's
There is
just-
some really cool camera shots,
yeah, it's,
but there is no life to the camera.
You did mention
Right.
this.
It's very static.
It's one of my favorite scenes. Other than that, I think my other favorite scene was the point where Mia is freaking out in the bedroom, and she's like,
Whispering.
no, you don't understand. Like, just the look in her face, it's just like, that alone would have told me, yeah, we got to get the fuck out of here.
And that's where I think her acting really does shine.
right.
Is that the bit when she says, "There's someone in here now"?
She's like,
Yeah.
in
Yeah, yeah.
fact, I think it's in here right fucking now.
Right.
And he's like, you're just crazy.
Yeah, because like 2 minutes ago they just told you you're going to start hallucinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did that bit.
What about you, Warble?
Oh, best scene.
Yeah, your favorite scenes.
Ooh,
Give me
favourite
2 of
scene.
them.
Oh, favourite scene. I think the most disturbing scene, not my favourite, but the most disturbing scene. You know which one the most disturbing scene is?
No.
I
tell-
do.
Go on, what do you reckon it is?
No, tell me.
Which one do you reckon it is? most
The
disturbing
needle scene.
No, it's the bit that everyone talks about is the bit with the dog.
Oh, really?
People, you know.
Big animal lover?
Well,
I
you know,
agree, yeah, it was very disturbing. that
Everyone's
part.
always like, "Oh, I hate this bit."
Oh, I was
This
hoping
bit,
the
you know,
dog
yeah,
died.
when the dog really.
No, not really.
You're gonna have like a shotgun sound on there.
And then he like
You
just
remember that?
he just looks at the hammer, and then it cuts to Mia taking a shower, and that. That's not my favourite scene, by the way. You know,
The bubble scene, the bubble
Yeah.
face.
I think the bit I like was
Bubble butt.
when the girl just gets puked on.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's pretty graphic.
the
huh?
ectoplasma.
It's just
Yeah.
flat out blood.
It's like Ghostbusters
Yeah.
2.
It,
Yeah.
it just stuck in my brain a little bit. She's just throwing up all over.
You know what? I gotta say, like, to me, the, like, shining pinnacle moment of the whole fucking thing that made me cringe is that goddamn scene with the fucking needle, man.
Oh,
And we could talk about how they did it
Look.
after I explain it.
yeah.
because that's fucking Captain Sensible getting fucked up, and so I enjoyed that fucking massively.
Right.
So
well,
keep going, keep
and that-
going.
but it's just like he
Don't
just
stop, man.
endures all this power, like this pain.
Good.
But so you see Olivia, and she's like, you can see her getting affected, and then she disappears, and all of a sudden Eric, he's like knocking on the bathroom door, like Olivia, and then he opens it up.
You hear that
The
sawing
lights.
first, don't you? As you hear that sawing in the.
Well, you
Oh, in
hear
the
it.
movie theater, you could. Oh my
That
god,
sawing.
that sound.
Right. Christina said that was like some fucking fucked up shit. Like, she was like, ugh. But he opens the curtain, he sees Olivia cutting her face off, and then he slips on a piece of her skin that he steps on the tile, falls on his back, and then she attacks him by stabbing him in the chest near his heart, and then repeatedly stabs him in the face, trying to pierce his eyes with a fucking needle, which is just like, what the fuck? I think the worst part is when he pulls that fucking needle out of his eye socket. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that part, and it's like, oh, and you remember before he goes in there, do you remember Olivia fucking peeing?
Oh, yeah.
Because she
where
gets
the evil,
turned...
like, stops her dead in her tracks.
Like, yeah, like her pee was like orange.
Is it orange?
I was like, Jesus Christ, what is she, like, peeing orange juice or
Right.
fucking pineapple juice?
On the beetroot or something.
Yeah. I'm like, you need to clean up your pee, girl.
Right. Another interesting thing about that needle scene is that was practical effects done at its best.
Yeah, you were telling us about that.
The actual needle that he pulls out of his eye wasn't a needle at all. It was actually lead from one of those mechanical pencils. And they glued the tip to his eye, and he just moved his finger up it to make it look like he was pulling it out of his skin.
But he just slid his finger upwards.
Right. And then pulled it out. And that's where you see a little pull
Pop.
of the flesh because they glued it to his face.
Yeah, that was genius.
Genius, yeah.
I like to think they just stabbed the whole thing in there. Fuck.
You would think it would be a CGI effect, right?
Right.
no.
It was good enough to be a CGI, but it was all practical. It was amazing.
That's a really... Well, and I'm glad.
Right.
There was very small...
Practical effects.
Or you
happening.
mean CGI effects.
Right. But yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a lot of practical effects in this movie in particular. Like, just how the flesh was getting cut and shit was just awkward as fuck.
Oh, which reminds me, the nail gun scene.
Oh, great scene.
Because he gets nailed so hard with that nail gun, I was like, yeah.
Do you notice
He's
he's always covering his face, and then his hand just gets fucked up more?
Disappointed that some didn't slide through. I was just like, you know.
Well, that was the CGI moment right there, is where the nails were going through his arm when he holds it up.
Right.
He's like, oh, and you see it pop out the other side. That's CGI.
And then it got nailed to his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
So my favourite bits is just when he's getting messed up.
Yeah. The crowbar where he splits his hand in like
shit,
two.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that bit was good too.
Yeah, they go a little bit further in the unrated, though, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, did they split his hand in the unrated?
Yeah.
It's like,
It like
between his
splits it
two
right
fingers.
here.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, pretty bad.
One last scene that I want to point out is at the very end when it's apparent that she has summoned the fucking
Blood god or
whatever from the blood rain that pours down. And they call it an upper being or like another generation. Like each time that they kill 5 people, it summons a more dangerous demon.
Yeah.
But Mia gets the car toppled on top of her, and it craps her arm on the ground, and she doesn't know what to do, and it's crawling like to her, the creature.
Yeah.
And she fucking is just like, I'm sick of this fucking shit, and she just pulls her arm off.
Oh, God.
That in particular is so like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I mean, if we're going to be talking logistically, like how would really be, if you started pulling on that, you'd pass out from how much pain that would cause. You know what I
Well,
mean?
depending on how much adrenaline was rushing through your body at that moment, maybe not.
Like the part where she sticks her stump in the chainsaw, I could totally recognize, because if you went through that much pain, you wouldn't feel anything at that point.
Right.
Your stump would be lifeless, and it wouldn't matter. Your little fucking nerve endings would be flip-flapping around inside the fucking chainsaw.
Yeah, people do that in real life, haven't they? You know, we've heard stories about people getting their arm caught in like a combine harvester.
Ooh.
And they have to like slice it off.
Wow.
And then,
I've got a brand new combine harvester.
There you go.
I was just going to say, you know what song just popped into my head?
That's happened.
And you've already done it.
I've got
happened.
20 acres.
You've
got
got
43.
That's how we're gonna do.
I've got a brand new combine harvester. It's from the movie Evil Aliens.
You would like that.
We did a interview with Jake West, who did that movie. It's pretty good. He's from England, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a cool guy. But anyway, yeah, people cut their arms off in severe circumstances. So she'd be for enough shit. She's like, yep, fuck it, it's gone.
Right.
Yeah, that was just brutal to me. I don't know what it was. Yep. But, so what do you think about the end scene where she's like, fuck you! And jams the fucking, the like, saw into the fucking demon's face.
I forget that bit. What happened there? How come I forgot this bit?
She goes like, remember she goes into her and then goes up.
chops her head.
Oh,
too.
it's herself, isn't it? She's
Yeah,
like fighting herself at the end.
Like,
Well, it's not herself. It's actually like a demon.
yeah, but it resurrected.
It doesn't even have boobs.
But it's like-
It's
neutral.
the likeness of
There's
Mia.
no boobs.
No, it has no
Probably
boobs.
why I didn't pay any attention.
I noticed that. I was like, it's a dude, because they keep talking about him and her, and like him coming back.
Right. But it is a likeness to Mia.
I thought, but I don't know, because it was the creature that was like seeing her in the forest, and it could have been androgynous
Maybe.
because it's a demon. So who knows?
Right. You know, they like all sorts of gay stuff down in hell.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it necessarily means it's gay either. I'm just saying, like, it just seemed
fucking around.
androgynous, didn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Anyway, did you watch after the credits?
I didn't know there was a... So after the credits, there's a whole nother scene.
Are you fucking kidding me? You rented it and you didn't watch that?
I didn't know there was a whole nother scene after the credits.
Oh,
You
man.
obviously went for a smoke after that.
Yeah, I did. I went for a smoke.
Yeah, after the immediate credits, like the cool, like,
Right. Like cutting the flesh and all that.
yeah, like all the blood stuff. After that ends, they show Mia, and she's like walking down the street. Like, I don't know if you've seen the cover of The Evil Dead, or even in some of the trailers, they show her like walking down the street. That's actually the end of after the credits. They cut that completely. But she walks down the street.
Missing an arm.
Yeah. And she's like stumbles and falls on the ground, and some random guy comes to get her who happens to be a famous actor who was also in The Void, by the way, who was
No.
the state trooper guy.
Really?
Yeah. Who comes to the hospital. That's the same guy. And he was also in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 80s version. Can't think of his name. Anyway, he picks her up, and he's like, do you need help, girl? Like, what's going on? And then he's like, she's in his truck, and she's laying there, and she's like passed out. And then he's like, we'll get you there. We'll get you taken care of. And then her eyes open up, and the music is like,
Oh, shit.
yeah, and that's it.
Huh.
I can't believe you didn't even watch. You don't even think about that when you watch shit?
I normally
Every time
do.
I go to the theater, I always make wait.
I do that, but like I don't know why I didn't do that with the unrated version.
I'm pretty sure I told you.
Maybe didn't. I just spaced it.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm spacey.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I'm spacey.
All right, guys. So we need to wrap this up, but let me ask you this: which would you pick and why? Just to round it up for everybody.
I think we've already been over this, but
One all day long.
one all day long.
Okay, and why? Each of you.
I just think it had a better build. It had just a steady incline of just getting more and more and more and more, like deeper down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? I don't know.
What about you?
Thought one was more story driven.
Right.
Two was a bit more try hard. Oh, we've got to put gore in because it's scary. And it's
I agree.
For me, it's not. For other people, gore. Obviously, I remember you turning away from a few moments, so
Yeah.
it's a bit.
It has its merits.
A bit scary there, I guess, because you can't watch it. But one was more fun. It was funny as well. One was a lot more funny. It had everything. The first one for me, and when she's like sitting down there just giggling.
I feel like, I don't know. I like definitely one over the new one, but it is nice to see kind of an updated version of it in a way. I just wish it would have contained some of that suspense
Right.
that the first one had. That character, the camera. I mean, we've kind of been over it, but I really do think while the new one has some pretty amazing practical effects,
It's missing a lot of the atmosphere.
it's missing a lot of the atmosphere. The acting was actually, I mean, if you really think about it, it's kind of better
Yeah.
than the first one.
Oh, production value is way up there.
But the
isn't it?
story
Right.
is just...
It must have like millions. How much spend on the update? You got that one?
Yeah. How much was it? Did they spend on that?
So what was it? 90,000 on the first one.
90,000. Yeah.
So I reckon you're going to be like 5-10 million. The second one probably.
Well, the reboot had $17 million.
17. Jesus.
Yeah,
From
17
90.
million.
From 90 to
Think about that.
17.
1/17
I mean, you got,
of the budget the first one did.
you've got inflation and shit, so you got to.
Do you want to know how much the...
Ask how much what the inflation is.
Well, I don't know about the inflation, but it's definitely... Okay, let's just say they even had it's probably 10 million versus 1/10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like... Not even 1/10, actually, because, like, I forgot. Like, it's not even 1/17th, because if it was 17 million, it's technically 100th of the amount of money that they spent. Because for every million, it's $100,000. You know what I mean? So it's It's almost like a hundredth of the amount that they spent. But the box office totals for this movie, for the new one, is $97.5 million.
But that only got that because it was going off the back of the first one.
Right.
Right.
If that
Well,
was, if
the franchise in general.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I mean, yeah, like 97 isn't really that much, to be honest, because if you look at like a movie like It, who just made like 312.
Everyone watched that.
Yeah, like
Everyone saw that. Even people don't know what it was. They watched that.
right. That movie made so much money and they didn't spend anything.
I didn't want to watch it, but I still watched it.
Yeah, you have
And
to
you
know.
still had a good time watching it, right?
Yeah, well, it cured me. So yeah, I'm really happy I watched that.
There was a lot of great scenes in that movie. But let's not get into that.
Anyway, so I think we both, all three of us agree that the original is the best. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the original is better than the new one? Are you into the new one and feel like it kind of touched upon it? Do you agree with any of the points that we made? Like any of the points that we made that you agree with or disagree with? Like sound off in the comments and any of our social media or any of the places that we post this.
Yeah, we don't really care, but you do it anyway.
No, I genuinely want to know what people think. I mean, I know not everybody's going to agree.
I'm just playing. So good.
I don't know. Like, I like Cult of Chucky. A lot of people didn't like it. So I'm curious, why? Like, why do you like it? Why do you not like it? Why do you like one over the other? I had some people getting mad at me because I asked if they liked Zombie over Cemetery Man.
Oh, really?
Or Cemetery Man over Zombie. They were like, it's two different categories, and they wouldn't answer me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, really? Like, you can't even figure it out? Like, you can't even try to balance it out? Okay.
Right.
Anyway, I think we're done for today for Thursday's episode. This went a little bit longer than normal, but it is Evil Dead, guys, so we didn't want to, like, take
half-ass it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't want to shit on somebody's nostalgia and not do it the solid that it deserves. So I hope we did it justice for you guys and kind of filled you in on some of it and our thoughts and ideas about it. And hopefully you either agree or at least find some sort of value out of this. But thank you, Warble, for coming out and
My
specifically flying out here for this episode.
we're doing Twilight next week, yeah? Twilight.
No. Yeah, we don't do, we're not going to do Twilight
That's
ever.
good. Fun reviewing that.
Never doing that movie.
No.
But yeah, Patrick, it's good to have you back, man.
Thank you. I would love being back.
Yeah, man. So it's been a good solid week of nostalgia ourselves and having Warble here with some new memories. Just glad that piece of shit's here, you know? Just kidding.
Yeah. Wait till you shut this shit off.
Wait, all right.
Oh, shit.
It's on, I guess.
It's on.
Well, guys, if you haven't already, please do follow us and go to our longlivethevoid.com website. You can find all of our social media links anywhere that we're associated with. On that, you can join us. By going there. Thank you so much for all your shares, follows, and encouragement. We really do appreciate it, and we do hear it, so thank you. So, but otherwise, we will be back in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a couple of weeks, guys, so hang in there. I'll try to post some of our old stuff so that you can kind of check that out, some of our favorite stuff over the week, so you can kind of listen to that. So stay tuned to our social media. But thanks again for stopping by, guys. We hope you have an amazing Halloween, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Halloween.
So long.